Hello and welcome, folks, to part 2 of the Week 7 productions of the Gridiron Queensland action here in Week 7. Of course, some of you may have been tuning in to the other men's game happening over at Kitchener Park over at Wynnum, thanks to Paul Mills and the other half of LSB. Kenny Andres and Phil Levis here to bring you the action of game number 2, a game between two undefeated teams here, one of which defending home turf. 5-0 Rhinos taking on the visiting 4-0 Gold Coast Stingrays. Phil Levis joining me in colour, mate. It's going to be another firecracker show, I would hope.
This is lining up to be an absolute barnstormer because these two teams really like playing each other, they really like beating each other, and like I said, undefeated, top of the table. This is for bragging rights going into the rest of the season.
And in the games past, and I'm talking of years past, the Stingrays would often come into these games as heavy favourites. Not the situation anymore. The Rhinos probably the favoured team here with the way their offense is humming right now, averaging almost 60, or actually over 60 points a game right now, and the Stingrays not doing too badly themselves. This is a huge scalp for the Stingrays, who have just been mowing through opposition as a team that probably has a bit of a chip on their shoulder, being written off by a lot of teams based on the past few years they've had.
Yeah, they had something of a down year last year, and they've come storming back. I was quite surprised at the start of the season how they started their games. They've changed their style a bit. Previously, they had been very much spread out and been pioneers in this league, at least, of the four-wide system. This year, they seem to be running a lot more up the middle, a lot more smash mouth, a lot more old-school GQ football.
Especially when starting quarterback Lance Tongakilo, or at least name starter Lance Tongakilo, and number 49 has been running the offense. Of course, we saw him take a back seat against the Ravens. He said himself, I spoke to him about the situation, was it his decision to step down? He goes, yes, I couldn't make the throws that needed to be made to win that game, and I knew Malloy might have had a better chance, so he stood down. Malloy stepped in, and hell, they got a 22-21 victory over the Bayside Ravens just 2 weeks ago, and since then they've been claiming big scalps. Week 1 or Week 2, their first game in 2019, they beat the Thunder in a game where the Thunders might have been favoured there. They've also beaten the Ravens. They've obviously had their big wins as well. Toowoomba last week, they put 60 points on them. So right now, against this Rhinos offense, which has been doing a fantastic job getting downfield, and a Rhinos defense that has only surrendered 52 points, 40 of which came last time they were defending home against the Bayside Ravens. The Stingrays, they want to continue to add to this, fairy tale start of the season, if you will.
Yeah, defenses are really going to be a key here, because the Stingrays, we know they've got a great defense, but the Rhinos have started to rediscover their early 2000s form and really shutting teams down with that defense. So we know the Rhinos can definitely score points. The question is whether the Stingrays can keep up pace with them against this defense.
That's exactly right. Both defenses come here with sub 15 points allowed on average for the games they've played in 2019. 4 games for the Stingrays, 5 for the Rhinos. As I said, only 2 teams have put points on the Rhinos so far this season, 2 of which the big noted teams of this year are the Thunder and the Ravens. And it'll be an interesting one here, coming off a big win last week. The Rhinos, they defeated the Bears 68-0 last week. For the Stingrays, they defeated the Vultures 62-0. So both teams coming off huge confidence-building wins.
Yeah, always good to get a lot of points up on the board the week before you've got a tough game. It sort of gets the cobwebs out. You know you can do the job that needs to be done. But now it's get down to who's got the will to actually get it done on the day, because this is going to be quite a different contest to their ones in previous weeks.
Well, we saw at the coin toss, for those who might have missed it, the Stingrays won the coin toss, elected to defer, so they'll be kicking off. So we'll be seeing Brandon Gwinner and his high-flying offense taking the field to begin this game. Now, a lot of people had questions about how effective this Rhinos offense would be with Strong no longer there. Obviously, really came in and took the league by storm last year. Gwinner, slightly different quarterback, still the same results.
Yeah, still getting the job done, but yeah, much more physical quarterback, much more running. And I think we're about ready for a kickoff here, and it's pick your poison at the back there. I wouldn't kick to either of those 2 returns.
Well, Calder Shanks and Cheyam James, or CJ as he's more formerly known. Shanks fields it and fumbles it initially, but now he's looking for space. Finds some space at the outside, eventually taken down 21 yards out from his own goal line. Not bad field position.
Yeah, I would have thought he would have wanted to get a bit more yardage there. It looked like they had decent blocking up front, but that fumble just might have thrown his timing out and his momentum.
So, good kickoff here, and right now, well, he was listed as starting quarterback, but it looks like he'll be starting at linebacker. That is Lance Tonga Kilo there, which leads me to believe that number 6, Damian Malloy, could be taking snaps as QB1 here in this Week 7 matchup. Winner with Gates in the backfield. Gates now in motion. We've got 4 wide out to the right, and they will start with a screen to Gates. Gates catches that and breaks into the open field. Big man rumbling with football, gets this past his own 40. A good collection of 20 yards there to start this offensive day.
Rhinos going quick huddle there. I thought they might go to CJ. There he was singled up on the near side, but now he's still split out this side, but we'll see where they go with now.
First play of the game last week in his return game against the Vultures. Lit it up for a big play. This time, patiently waits to play number 2. Gates back in the backfield with Gwinner. 2x2 set. Another pass play here on second down. Another short pass to Gates. Gates with some open space. Beats Tonga Kilo. Tonga Kilo is blocked out of it. And eventually it is Reese Perkins who runs Gates out of the field. And that's another big play on first down.
That says to me the Rhinos have identified something to do with the Stingrays' edges, that their linebackers don't flow quite as well as they could, and that's something they can exploit. That's 2 plays straight to the edges with their big running back.
Big left tackle Timmy Reynolds getting a key block on Tonga Kilo on that last play. 2 heavyweights of this game. And now in motion, and this might be Jervier. We saw his speed coming to play. Now it's a fumble. He recovers it on his own. No gain on the run plus the fumble. They'll actually lose some yardage on that play there. A huge play for the defense to step up. And it's, well, eventually missing him in the backfield there is the 59, but it is number 19 coming in and making the forced fumble. That is Dylan Napier playing some defense here.
Yeah.
A noted wide receiver now asked to play some DB.
Much better defended there by the Stingrays. They've figured that side. Let's see how they go with fixing it on this side of the field.
More fast-paced, 3x1 set. Now a check off to the sideline. Coach Booker sends in a new signal. They'll change the play. Winner now flanked by Gates to the left of him. Shanks getting instructions. In the left slot, and they've taken too long there. This could be a delay of game. First penalty of the game coming against the Brisbane Rhinos. Bit of miscommunication there between quarterback and coach.
That is sometimes the problem with signalling in from the sideline, that you've got to communicate that into the QB correctly and then out to everyone else on the field as well. It can take some time. That's why they go no huddle to try and, you saw them try and draw the Stingrays offside, see if they get a cheap 5 yards and get some of that loss back. But now they've compounded that by putting themselves back another 5 yards. We'll see what they come up with now.
All right, now they've changed formation. Gone to a spread, equal receivers either side. Gunnar looking over the middle, is under pressure, has to move. Looks downfield, looking for Shanks, and he's got him. A good catch there. Shanks down at about the 23. Flag down back at the line of scrimmage.
Looks inside, so in the vicinity of holding, but we'll see what they come up with. Yep, holding on offense.
65, that might be Timmy Reynolds getting pinned for a hold there, and that's going to be a back and forth battle all night, methinks.
Yeah, Timmy, one of the more athletic tackles. You saw him getting out on that play earlier, but can struggle if a big man gets a good rush on him.
Was supposed to just be another coach this year. Last year making the full commitment to coaching and served as the OC for this team. And Coach Booker, needing a bit of lineman, asked his now former OC to step back into the trenches, and the call has been made and answered. 3 wide receivers now. Out to the left, tight on the right. J.M. James, near side wide receiver, play action pass. Gwinner under pressure, trying to set up a screen to Gates. Has to throw it to his feet. Frustration expressed there from Coach Booker. Thought he had the play there on 3rd and long.
Yeah, Stingray starting to get a little pressure off the edges. That's why it led to that hold earlier and the busted screen play there. Let's see, they've got a 3rd and a mile now, see whether they actually go for it all or whether they try and get some decent yards back and get some field position.
Penalties have led them back here. A false start plus a hold moved them back to 3rd and a long, long way. Winner, about 20 yards to make up. Deep drop, looking downfield. Pushed to his left, and now he's looking for someone, but he's been intercepted. It is Suarez. Suarez had a pick 2 weeks ago on GQTV. Has another one. Flag thrown in all the way back from the referee. And right now the play has finished at the Rhinos 39. Now let's see how this flag will be applied. It came in after the turnover.
Yeah, Stingray's doing a good job of moving Gwinner off his spot, making him throw across his body and being there for the pick when it came down. But we'll see what the flag is for. Definitely after the interception. So this could be moving back more than likely on the Stingrays.
Had a chat to Suarez, introduced himself to me pre-game. Didn't realise he was actually part of the former, well not former, he's a former Gridiron North Queensland member. Played for the Cairns Falcons. And this will be against the Stingrays.
Yep, blocking below the waist. So there'll be 15 yards, I believe, from the spot of the foul.
So the turnover will stand because the infringement happened after the ball was turned over. But as you can see now, the Stingrays taking over possession a lot further back than the play finished.
Oh no, only 5 yards.
See, we're getting a replay here, so we might be able to get a look here. Didn't get the number, so we'll have to try and get eyes up. And that might have been it there, number 3 for the Stingrays. Dylan Lagerstrom, I would imagine, used to know better. I don't know if that was an intentional or if he just lost his footing. In any case, his team will suffer for it, and that will be a short gain on first down. I think that was James Taylor getting the first carry today and actually picked up a good chunk yardage there, three and a bit. And to answer our question, that is Malloy taking the snaps at quarterback.
Rhinos, if they are vulnerable anywhere, it is up the middle, but we'll see whether they can tighten that up. They have lost some chunks up the middle against other teams.
Well, they're going back to the pass now on second down. And now Malloy will run with it. Something he is accustomed to doing, stretches the ball out. This looks like it'll be a first down. That time using Malloy's athleticism to move the chains. That's the Stingrays' first down of the game.
Always difficult to get a coverage sack on Malloy. He's adept at pulling it down and taking off at any opportunity he can see.
First down and 10. As I mentioned, Tongan was a starter coming into the season, and for a lot of the games last week, Tongan started. But he acknowledged at key times there are a few throws that he's still working on and he's still looking to improve on, and he's happy to cede the position to Malloy when necessary. Malloy, short drop. That's a concept they've run very, very successfully throughout the years. Napier with his first grab of the game.
Yeah, Malloy obviously got veteran with a ton of experience. He hadn't played in previous years because he had a shoulder issue, but I'm assuming since he's throwing, that's either better or it's not going to get any worse.
We've got a big man down from the Stingrays. I think 76 perhaps.
Or 78.
78. That might be Anthony Durrell. The Stingrays without their offensive line coach, my former commentator, and Adam Bolton, who is dealing with quote-unquote barley belly. So he said he was doubtful.
Never fun.
He listed himself as doubtful as a coach. I didn't know coaches could be listed on an availability sheet.
That's why I thought about visiting a certain Mexican restaurant on the way down here, but I wisely abstained.
I think that might have been a good call, but he is down and he's not moving, so that's Yana. I'm sorry, Jana, is it? I've met her 1,000 times. I keep confusing whether it's Jana or Yana. I think it's Jana. She's one of the best medics around. She's looking after the down Stingrays player. You can see on the screen.
Concentrating on the upper body. Normally when the lineman goes down like that, it's 9 times out of 10 it's the leg, but looks like he might have copped a big hit.
You see at the bottom of your screen there in the Rhinos number 43, Jack Lowe, one of 2 Jack Lows on this team, made a huge play in the last time we saw the Rhinos on stream, where he stripped the ball or recovered a fumble and returned it 60 yards to get momentum back for his team. But he's also one of those young players that are currently leading this Rhino starting outfit.
We've got 3rd and about 6 here once the play restarts. I believe he's got to go off the field for at least one play, unless the rules have probably changed on me.
And just checking off, that was actually Jesse. Is that Jesse Sharp coming in now? Yep, Jesse Sharp replacing Durrell for at least this one play, as you mentioned.
We've got 3rd and 6. It'll be a very good time for the Rhinos to oh no, still 2nd. Good time for the Rhinos to have some sort of game-changing play here.
Wind starting to pick up here at Frank Lind Oval, where we're broadcasting you from here, and they'll go to the ground on 2nd down, and look at James Taylor bust through the defence, and you mentioned it earlier, Levis. The flags are down back around on the line of scrimmage there, but you said one place you thought they might be vulnerable is straight up the guts.
Yeah, their defensive line is very good at getting in the backfield, but they're not the best at maintaining their gaps at times. They tend to go all out, and that's one of the gambles you play.
And this flag has been waved off, so the play will stand. That's another chain mover there from the visitors. And whilst we'll see if that proves to be a area of purchase for this Stingrays offense, in the middle they do have number 55, Akeem Allen, who is one of the imports and an absolute beast when healthy. The only time I've seen him play so far, he has been struggling with a quad injury, led to believe he is 100% in tonight's game. Malloy looking for an open Paludan there, left completely open on a busted coverage, and the first points is belonging to the Gold Coast Stingrays on a long pass play, almost 40 yards.
Lovely play. They threw him before he was open, knowing that the safety wasn't going to get there, that it was a blown coverage. And like I said, the Stingrays are doing a very good job so far of keeping Allen contained and running off the back of that, and then pulling up the pass there.
Jaden Paludan, a name I've pronounced several different ways over the years he's been on broadcast. No matter the broadcast, no matter the team, no matter the division, he finds a way to produce. This time producing 6 points.
Stingrays going for the extra point, not going for the 2.
And kick is up, and kick is good there from the Stingrays. His first successful PAT of the day, Tommy Terzok, proven to be one of the more accurate kickers in the league today.
It is more difficult than it looks. Everyone sees the NFL and NCAA doing it and think that.
Jaden Paludan and getting beat on the coverage there was, I think, Anthony Hearn stepping in. He's one of those Colts who played quarterback for the Colts division last year, stepping in and playing DB at the senior level. That time getting beaten by one of his Colts comrades.
Playing QB normally makes you a very good DB because you get to understand what good coverage is and what it looks like, and what it feels like to throw into it. So, but obviously still got a little bit to learn there.
Worth noting, actually, it was actually the juniors he was playing quarterback for. He's made a big jump from juniors to the men's
quite
division.
the leap.
And right now playing corner, played safety a couple weeks ago in replacement of number 9 and one of the other imports there, and Gary Brooks. More about him soon. And this one's fielded by not one of the usual returners. It got to the second line. Ball got back to the 41. Flags thrown in late.
It was either Cole Jervier or Patrick Mao.
Yeah, and I think it's Jervier who's stepping in. Mao still injured. And I think he is wearing Moore's jersey. We should correct ourselves now. It's pronounced Moore, and this one is going in favor of the Rhinos. Didn't get the call there. They'll get some extra yardage tacked on to that return.
Let's see what they can make of this opportunity.
On the return there, Jervier, who lit up the second half 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago I should say now, against the Ravens. Took him a half to get warmed up, but the British import, along with Phil Newport, contributed heavily in that second half of that big shootout between them and the Ravens.
Yeah, they've both been very, very good buys for the Rhinos this year.
3-by-1 set, and they'll go back to Gates, this time on the ground though. Hustling and bustling, will get a block on the edge and will eventually be taken out by Lance Tonga-Kilo, but not before Gates gets it past the 35.
Good variation there from the Rhinos, going with their more power pulling guard run play away from the usual zone blocking scheme, so that managed to open up a big hole. We'll see whether they stick with that or whether that's just a wrinkle they keep in every other series.
Gates remains in the backfield. Siam James now moved to the slot. Javier outside him. And it'll be up the middle with Gates again, this time tackled nicely by Lagerstrom at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's a good tackle. It's got to be hard to think about going low on such a big, powerful man, but they got the job done there.
One of the benefits of having a bigger back, even when they get tackled, they usually fall forward for a yard or two.
As a defender, it's a bit counterintuitive. You want to not give up the yards, but with a back that size, you've got to make sure of the tackle.
Play action pass over the middle, almost caught and also almost intercepted pass. There, his first target is Jervier, incomplete, and flags thrown as well. Might be some PI. I might have missed more based on what I'm looking at there from
Looks
Mr.
like
Nigel. Could be a hold there as well.
downfield, or
GQ President Nigel Law also working as the umpire, and it will be holding there. Called against the Rhinos, the culprit, and making his debut, I believe, Rusi Samo. Rusiate? Son of
63, yes.
Son of Radiki Samo, the famous Wallaby, who I think might be out and about watching his son play here. And I should mention he is also one of the other Colts playing up. Still under the age of 19.
Yeah, Rhinos using a lot of Colts players this year, but they have asked a lot of veterans back as well, so it's an interesting mix.
Gates. Nope, play action pass. Good fake, and thrown into the flat to Jervier. Good move, beats his defender, beats Jamal Sinapati, and gets out of bounds in this. That gets back a fair chunk of yardage there on second and long, following the holding penalty.
It's about the 22, so they're going to have about 3rd and 4 or so to try and convert this one. I'd say they're in 4 down territory here, though.
3rd and reasonable. Gates lined up quite deep here. Staying in behind Gwinner. Newport, right slot. J.M. James, left slot. And they will run it here on 3rd down and 4, and this will be close. The 3rd down is at the 19. The first down is at the 19, and that's thereabouts where Gates has been tackled.
The Stingrays line, they're very good at getting off their blocks. Perhaps the Rhinos were using more of an RPO, so they might not have been driving their defenders as much.
And they're still yet to get a call here on whether this is a first down or not. Both coaches animated, wanting to get a measurement by now. We still haven't got. We might be. Don't tell me they're going to bring the chains out. Surely not.
No. Looks like the rule is
Fourth
just
down.
short.
I'm going to say that he's inches short here.
4th and inches. I'd be looking for Gwinner to do the little QB draw here.
More than capable. 3-by-1, and they will give it to the big man, and he will stumble forward and pick up more than enough for the first down. They're inside the 5. And they just went back and looked like they called what looked like to be the same play.
Yeah, looked very similar, but yeah, he busted through that time. They didn't get low on him. They went pad level, and big man's always going to have the momentum and the advantage in that situation.
When I saw with Coach Booker, he didn't care whether it was first down or 4th. He just wanted to know because he wanted to keep rolling on. He had the play dialed up. They look back for the call now. Now in a spread formation. And Winner will drop back. Now he'll look downfield looking for J.M. James. Intercepted by Jamal Sinapati at the goal line. He brings it back to the 4. The first visit downfield in the red zone for the Rhinos is taken away by the man who was beaten 3 plays ago, Jamal Sinapati.
Once again, rolling left, not his obviously preferred side, and just misread the coverage there.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong here, Phil, but that's twice now he's rolled out to that side and he's been picked.
Yeah, that's a little troubling. Maybe they're disguising the coverage a little bit from him on that side.
It's 2 picks now for this Stingrays defense. The one earlier by Suarez, and that time by the former Raven and Jamal Sinapati. It's 2 picks in the season now for Suarez, and I think that might be the first of the year for Sinapati. Stingrays open their second offensive drive with a run up the guts, I think by Taylor once again, and he has been productive so far in this first quarter.
Yeah, good 6-yard run up the middle once again, getting behind his blockers and plowing downfield. Managed to open a decent hole in the Rhinos D line.
Similar sort of backs, Gates, the starting backs, and Gates and James Taylor.
Yeah, much more power backs than we've been used to in recent years.
Hard count by Malloy, and he'll send Taylor forward. Breaks a tackle, still going. Was bothered earlier in the season. Oh, we're going to see a late flag here for what I'm going to guess is unnecessary roughness there on one of the Rhinos DBs.
That looks like one of the
could be one of the
juniors
culprits.
playing up. I don't have a number
This
on
might
it.
be one of the... I spent a lot of time trying to get the numbers correct. Knew I'd miss one.
It's like 37.
He's lucky. He's not going to be called here. But 37, who is one of the few names not on our team list.
Let's see what the referees come back with though. We have been wrong before.
Trying to look for the player now. And hey, whoa. Okay, this is going against the Rays. Then this is one of the rare situations they're not going to get the retaliator, they're going to get the instigator. So it's going against number 86 on the Stingrays there.
We do only have 5 referees, so it's much harder to pick up when you don't have a full complement of referees. So full compliments there to the officiating, if they've picked that up.
The veteran Riku Hataya there sends him backwards, and oh, he's been held in the cage for the first quarter, and now they let him loose. It's Jonah Gardner with his first carry of the game, and he flips the field, taking it from inside his own 10 all the way to the opposition 20.
That's how you reverse a momentum change, and now they're going quick huddle here and try and catch the Rhinos on the back foot and see if they can punch this in and get two scores ahead rather.
Speaking, and they don't want to waste any time here. Malloy, quick huddle. And stuffed, by the Rhinos. The Rhinos answer back after giving up a big play. Huge tackle in the backfield there.
That's not a 1-2 punch you want to run into Ernest Moore and Sam Matau here. 2 of the biggest hitters on the Rhinos defense.
Ernest Moore had an improved season last year. Coach Booker talked about him a lot. I was actually speaking to DC Thomas Pasina, who had more praise to heap on him this year. Said he's gotten even into better shape. And he expects him to continue making big plays in 2019. Second down and 11. Malloy calls for it, gets it, deep drop. Will have to step up, avoids the pressure, but not the second. The second rusher in, Akeem Allen, takes him down for a loss of 5 yards.
Yeah, well done there from the Rhinos. They rushed him from the outside, made him step up, but didn't give him that alley to escape. Sort of flushed him into where they wanted him to go and managed to make the tackle for the stop, and that puts the Rays in 3rd and very long.
Jack Lowe with the initial pressure, and then Akeem Allen coming up the middle for the huge sack, putting them on 3rd and 15.
Yeah, good work by Lowe not to overcommit there and give Malloy a way to go out and around him.
3-by-1 set now for the Stingrays. The touchdown score, and Paludan on the outside, but they'll go backside to Riku Hataya. Hataya still churning his legs on 3rd and long, and it's a valiant effort. It'll get him right to the marker, but did it get him over? The chains are moving. Down. Yes, he has. What an effort there by the veteran. He caught that ball well short of the first down.
Yep. Yards after catches can be a killer.
Another quick huddle there. We are seeing some fast football here from both of these offense, but another stuff at the line. Ernest Moore coming back for another tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, came flying in there looking for the big hit, managed to get the ankle tap when he got juked.
Credit to our production team here. We are not getting a lot of time for replays, and they're squeezing them in whenever they can. Second down now, 2nd and goal inside the 10. We're looking at ball on the 9. Malloy with Gardner. We got him down here in the first place. He's to the left of Malloy, and will this be a false start? Looks like there might be a false start on the right tackle.
Malloy looked like he was calling for the ball there. He clapped his hands, and a couple of seconds later, the left guard jumps.
Oh, yep. You called it. Left false start.
Really unforgivable, though. The ball is right there. You should be looking at it.
Is anyone forgivable on a false start, mate? Receivers?
Not, definitely not.
Rhetorical question.
As an old O-lineman, no.
Second down and goal, but the ball's further back now. Going for the end zone. Was looking for Hassan, who has made his way now onto the Stingrays, a former Rhino. He was open in the end zone, but an overthrow there from Malloy, as you see it on replay now.
Yep, had a couple of steps, just got overexcited. Malloy didn't throw it high enough for him to run under. Now we've got 3rd and goal from about the 15. Stingrays going 2x2 again.
And Hassan, the man at the last target, inside the right slot. Paludan marked up with Cheyenne James, but they're going to go back on the backside, and it hits an open area of the field. Unfortunately, no Stingrays underneath it. It's Hataya as the intended wide receiver, and that'll bring up 4th down. And the Rhinos, after giving up a huge play, they hold on to 4th down here, and let's see what the Stingrays opt to do.
Yeah, just a timing error, I think, there from Malloy and the receiver. That might be a product of him not playing QB for the first few weeks. Might be just a touch out of sync with some of his receivers.
1 from 1 on PATs. This kick a lot further out. Torzok on to try and add 3. Stingrays currently leading by 7 on their second offensive possession, looking to make that 10. That they do. A successful kick there. The Tommy Torzok. But are there flags? Flags back down at the snap of the football.
On the line during a kick, this could be absolutely anything.
Well, it doesn't look like it's anything to do with the kicker, and that's nothing we saw. So
no, there was good penetration, but no, the kicker and the holder did not get contacted as far as I saw. And the referees are talking it over with the Stingrays.
The Stingrays kicking team. Well, some are leaving, some are personnel changes being made now.
Contacted with the snapper.
And that's the second time I've seen that penalty this year. First time was in the women's division. So nowadays you can't touch the snapper. That's why in the NFL we've seen so many of these athletic DBs jumping over the center. You can't snap it, or at least, is it still the 1 second rule?
I don't think it's ever been actually a 1 second rule, but
it's been the old house rule of 1 second.
You've got to get up. We saw Malloy do it a couple of weeks ago against the Ravens.
Here's a big situation here. Now they keep the 3 points off the board. They get a fresh set of downs, so they're going for it here. We're not saying going for it. They're happily accepting the fresh set of downs, and on 1st down, that's another James Taylor carry up the middle.
Well, they'll signal that if they don't get it in here in this set of downs, that they'll go for the field goal again. So there's no skin off their back. It's obvious a good decision to take the ball and try and get another touchdown in front rather than just a 3.
Another thing I will emphasise: this clock on screen is just purely for a guesstimation or a reference there, not official timing by any stretch of the imagination. 3 receivers tight to the left, and is that Ernest Moore shooting through again? Yes, it is.
Yeah, untouched up the middle this time. Obviously picked the gap that they were running up and timed it perfectly.
That's 3 times now he's timed that to a T.
James Taylor doing very well to avoid
his knees
a
are
big
not appreciating that.
His knees might be sore, but it's better than his head, because when Ernest hits you
feel
stay hit.
You feel it. Here's a bell ringer. 3rd down now, 3rd and goal. Looking to convert here, have proven they're more than capable and willing to take the 3-point speed option. Malloy will get stopped there. Ernest Moore again on tackle, as well as Aki Mallon. And that'll bring up 4th down once again. So they'll look to add another 3 points here after a successful attempt was attempted earlier, but gifted a fresh set of downs following a penalty that reset the down count, and that'll be the end of a very fast-flowing first quarter. Seeing 2 possessions each. Oh, sorry, yeah, 1 possession. No, 2 possessions for the Stingrays,
Yep.
1 to the Rhinos. The Rhinos picked off in the red zone. The Stingrays...
No, they did have 2 because they had 2 of them picked off.
2 of them picked off, you are correct. Keeping count. So 2 turnovers for the Rhinos so far. 1 long touchdown for the Stingrays, and now their second possession looking to be finished off with a field goal here.
More than likely, but don't be shocked if the Stingrays do surprise us here.
Any surprises here? The Stingrays up 7-0 into the first quarter.
Yeah, they've played quite well. Defense stepping up. Their secondary has been more impressive than I thought they would be.
Yeah, it's not an easy task, but Winner has been struggling so far, been forced to roll out left and been picked off twice tonight.
That does remind me a little bit of the... Oh, it looks like they are going for it on 4th down here.
Could change it. Well, I would have thought the confidence that they gained with that field goal earlier. Looking at 4th down and goal from the 3. Just a little more, and this might be pushed further back. They might have to reconsider that field goal. False start on the Rays.
So with Gwynner off to this slow start, it does remind me a little bit of the game against the Ravens. He did get off to a little bit of a slow start there, and then
Came back strong with a wet sail.
Yep, he started calling his own number a little bit and got himself into the game with his feet, and that led to touchdowns with the arm as well.
Charles Valepu, another one of the Colts, stepping up, this time for the Columbia Blue. Pinged for the full start in that last play, starting a right tackle would seem, and here comes Terzok. Once again, 1 from 1 from PATs and technically 1 point from field goals, but penalty on that.
Won't count to your fantasy points.
That's exactly right, and maybe they should have just taken the 3. This one, the snap is ugly and it's a blocked attempt, but will they get a safety here? A rookie mistake, perhaps? We're going to have to wait for an official call here. Well, they should have just...
I'm trying to remember the rules here.
Yeah, as am I here, because...
I think it'd only be a safety if he got pushed back into the end zone.
Well, we're going to wait for a call, because I'll be honest, I'm not 100% certain of the rule here of the kick. We haven't been given an official call, so right now the score still remains 7-0 in favour of the visiting team, the Gold Coast Stingrays.
You know, my feeling is because he wasn't responsible for the ball ending up in the end zone, he's not responsible for it's not a safety in that regard.
Alright, so I wonder how in a game that looks like it may come down to 1 possession, if they had that time back, would have they just stepped to the 3? I mean, the conventional wisdom suggests that you get given a fresh set of downs inside the 5, you take it. But
yeah. Also, the Stingray, the Rhinos at the back there may have been thinking that ball was touched at the line, and the Stingrays could recover it for a touchdown in the end zone. So
strong run there from Gates. Well, that will be talked about throughout the chat and throughout the week, I'm sure. It was possibly a 10-point should have they chosen to decline the penalty. And as I said, conventionally, you can't blame the Stingrays for taking the ball. They're taking
no, it was the right move, but it's one of those things from poker. Sometimes you can't think about the bad decision, how it came out.
Good old
right
hindsight. And this is a winner keeper, and it's an RPO. They'll get it out to Cheyenne James for his first reception of the day. Not his first target, though. Second target. This time picks up 5 yards on that RPO. And coming back fresh from Germany, if memory serves correctly.
Yeah, playing in the German league with a couple of other Rhinos. We're still waiting to see whether any more of them come back.
Bit more than 5 yards on that last play. In fact, we've got 2nd and 3. It's a large 3, though. This one gets maybe just past the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and short. Upcoming for the Rhinos, surviving a Stingrays visit to their red zone, trailing 7-0.
Yeah, Gates running behind his pads. The Stingrays doing a good job of plugging the gap, but still getting a couple of yards just due to the momentum and power that he has in his legs. Just waiting on the play call in here.
And now a new formation for this game at least. We've got a trips bunch out to the right side of the field for Gwinner. But they'll give it to Gates. Gates is stuffed behind the line of scrimmage, and here comes the cavalry. And on a huge 3rd and short play, the Stingrays look like they've held them out.
And we've got a Stingray down.
Back at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. I think they just got back to the line of scrimmage. They'll make it 4th and 1.
Yeah, this being an interesting decision. It'll certainly be an insight to the mindset of the Rhinos here should they go for it. They're just short of halfway.
If I was coach, I'd definitely have a shot at trying to draw the Stingrays offside here.
Well, they went for it on a 4th down. Of course, field position was a little different for them. They were inside the red zone, and they were out on a 4th and short. They chose to run it with Gates, and they successfully converted that.
The thinking is whether you're close enough to halfway to justify going for it on 4th, or whether being just inside your own half, you play it safe and punt it down and rely on your defense to get you the ball back with better position.
Bailey Harding is the Stingray currently receiving attention. Both teams now getting a few words, and it looks like he will walk off to the medical tent. Mr. Harding there. You all could walk through the opposition to get, get
always,
to the
always enjoyable.
Medical tent.
Hopefully he's not being assessed for anything too serious. He's up and walking. That's always
Not
one of the better signs.
Not grimacing in pain in any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Well, here we go. It looks like the Rhinos are sending a play in. I don't see Newport getting instructions to punt. Nope, he'll line up as a wide receiver. Yet to see a punt in tonight's game here towards the top of the 2nd quarter. Well, this is the formation they came in last time. They went for it on 4th down, and it was a Gates carry up the middle. Hard count, as you predicted, Phil. Now they'll calm things down, and they'll run the play called under center. This will be a sneak. And that's exactly what it is, and the Stingrays, they've aimed up. I don't think the Rhinos have got this.
No, Stingrays were ready for that one. As soon as he came up under centre, that was fairly obvious what was going to happen.
And you can see Tonga Kilo calling it out immediately. He goes over the top of the lineman. That is a huge play for the Gold Coast Stingrays. A huge play for this Gold Coast Stingrays defense.
Yeah, big. That could be a game changer. Oh, we have a flag as well.
This is really late, so this is going to be
Unsportsmanlike.
some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
The Rhinos coach had been very animated coming off the sideline as well. Obviously, he'd seen something. Perhaps thought there might have been some targeting.
Well, getting the 1st down call for the Stingrays, but he's pushing his team back. His team, a lot of his veterans there in defense of him. He's now having a discussion.
I think we're having some discussions over whether the spot was a good spot and whether there should have been a measurement.
Well, you can just be certain that he knew he would have been standing right in line of the 1st down marker and making his argument that he saw Gates break the proverbial plane, if you will, in this particular instance. Usually that applies to the goal line, but certainly can apply to a 1st down. It's going to be a lengthy debate here. They're still discussing this. My assumption here is that he's probably arguing forward momentum.
Yeah. It all comes down to the spot, but I think it's a bit late. They've already ruled on it, and the chains have already been moved. So,
despite the broadcast, they can't get a review from up here.
No, we don't want to be responsible for that at all. It didn't look like to us that he made it, but we could not see the ball either.
Just trying to looking at some of the comments here, and And David Reed is saying the call's been made. Let's get on with it. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people who agree with you, Reedy. And we're going to say, let's take a look at it though while we get the extra time. And well, you can make up your own decision. I mean, admittedly, our cameras are a little right of this spot, and that certainly looks in favour of the visitors, if you ask me.
I think they were very lucky not to cop a false start as well. There was a bit of movement on line, but that could be forgiven since the quarterback was moving up to the line as well.
Share that too.
Like I said, it's okay to disagree with the call, but your odds of changing the officials' minds are very slim. Looks like we are marking off the unsportsmanlike.
So I imagine words were said after the play by one of the Rhinos players, but just to update you, edging towards the middle minutes of the second quarter, the Stingrays with the ball now lead 7-0. Third offensive possession for them were turned down after taking their own field goal off the board, and now they look to add to this 7-point lead. James Taylor's having a whale of the night, and that's one of his shorter runs. And once again, it's Ernest Moore keeping him in check.
Yeah, Rhinos came through the line there, and he saw them, managed to avoid the first hit, but that put his momentum sideways and basically killed any hope of him getting more yardage out of the play. So we'll make it 2nd and 9.
I spoke about this a lot when they took on the Ravens. At the time, a three-headed rushing monster in Tonga Kilo, a quarterback, and then Jonah Gardner and James Taylor. Right now, looking like they're giving the heavy load to James Taylor. I wonder what that means for the second half, whether that adds a little more Jonah Gardner or if they're looking to use him and save him for big plays. Malloy under pressure, but good protection. Now we'll take off for it up the left-hand side, and we'll stretch this ball out for an extra yard or two. And we'll make this 3rd and probably still more than 5, trying to get the official spot of him.
Yeah, good pressure, but only from one side. They didn't have anyone around the corner on the other side cutting away that takeoff lane. Might be something they need to look at, because he turned blind there. If there had been someone around the corner, I think Malloy might have been in a little bit of trouble.
More productive run than I gave it credit for. This is going to be 3rd and 4 here for the Rays. If they get stuffed here, and assuming they don't get taken down for a loss, this will be Terzok's longest field goal attempt for the night. Should they go that way, it'll be a pass play under pressure. Malloy gets rid of it and almost intercepted. A fantastic job there from Hassan to turn from receiver to defensive back.
And good pressure there from Tim Reynolds, getting some time on D-line as well as O-line.
Almost coming away with an interception there is Tyson Snag, another Colt in the men's division, had a good Nationals campaign earlier this year down at Narrabeen.
It looks like the Stingrays are going to go for it here on 4th down.
Now, after such a successful field goal, I wonder what flick has been switched to make them...
Either that, or they'll line up to try and draw them offside and see if they can get the first down again.
I'll be honest, even though it's been a little while since he started, and we'll scrub that thought because they snap it immediately. Jaden Paludan on 4th down. Has he got enough? My worry here is that he's possibly worked his way back, but no, he's got more than enough there, and that'll be 1st down Rays. Jeez, another clutch play for Jaden Paludan. Paludan, I should correct
just worked
myself.
his way back a little bit, but not enough to get him back inside the marker, and that gives him a new set of downs. Just goes to show they said they've got a field goal kicker. They've proved they can kick long field goals. Maybe the wind's a little bit of a factor, but they've definitely got the confidence to say we can take this on 4th down.
I just can't believe the way that Jaden's playing over the last 18 months. If it's a 4th down or a 3rd down, they just throw his way and he makes it happen.
Some guys have just got it.
We might be seeing a delay game here. Or is that going to be a 2-minute warning?
Don't think it will be that quickly.
Yeah, surely not.
Might be a
I'm assuming someone's
timeout.
taking a timeout, didn't see the signal.
Officials all writing in their books that suggests that, yes, someone has taken the timeout.
We'll try to get let's look at that 4th down play here. The old slant, well, it's a bit of a slant wheel concept, isn't it? But once again, coming up clutch. Right side of the field. Already got 1 touchdown to his name today. 3 catches.
Yeah, it's good to have a guy you know is going to be in the right spot and give you a chance to catch the ball on third and fourth downs. And that's why he's so valuable, deciding why they keep going back to him. So no, he's going to run the route you need. He's going to get into a good spot. And if you put the ball near him, he's going to have a good chance of coming down with it.
Looks like the 7:15 to Redcliffe's passing through.
Yeah. Well, I think that goes out to Ferny Grove that way.
I'm hazarding a guess. I have no idea how the train lines go. I haven't got a train in years, mate. 7-0 the Stingrays right now with a first down and the lead. Malloy throwing backside for that man and Paludan. And another catch there, and that brings them inside the 5. We've got first and goal here from what looks like the 3.
A little dangerous there. He had Ernest Moore dropping back into coverage.
Show and blitz the Rhinos. And Malloy, he'll keep it and will be taken down from behind. Ernest Moore right now doing everything he can to keep this as a 7-point game.
They refuse to block him. He comes free again and just has the pace. Malloy, his younger days probably would have run away from that easily, but Ernest is, even though he's a big hitter, he actually comes with quite a bit of pace as well.
Well, what are they going to do on that backside play right now? He's Ernest Moore using his speed to shut down any play they try to run away from him.
Yep.
Second and goal. A loss on that play makes it 2nd and 5. Malloy looking for the slant, incomplete. Flag on the play.
Holding on that one.
We'll take a look here. Our line
Yeah,
looks good.
56, I'd say.
And well, the Stingrays are the team moving back. No official call yet. You called it.
Yep. You look like he'd hooked Akeem Allen's arm there and had been beaten.
This is Dale Stanley, the starting centre, and also one of the leaders for the team. I'm led to believe in the absence of Coach Bolton this past week. Bolton's been overseas. He's been led to really handle a lot of the offensive line coaching at that time, coaching them what not to do.
Yes. Always a difficult job against a gun tackle, snapping the ball and then blocking.
Oh, and he's lost it. Tuck roll. They've rolled it a fumble. No whistles yet. They're going to be taking out a loss of yardage there with shades of Brady in 2004.
I was about to say that the penalty really changes the complexion of things, going from a second and goal from the 5 to from the 15. This just changes it again. You're looking at third goal from the 35. Just trying to see who got the...
Charles Valepe recovering the fumble there. I don't think he expected to have his hands on the ball tonight.
No.
And, well, geez.
I think it was low on the pressure, but I think it might have been Tim Reynolds who got the pressure up the middle initially.
Well, it came out of Malloy's hands of his own volition there.
Yeah.
There was no actual... No
I think he was going to throw it and then decided at the last minute to pull it down, and like you said, yeah.
Well, we've got third and goal all the way back at the 35. Malloy looking for the end zone, looking for Napier, but fantastic coverage on the play by our mystery man, number 37.
Making up for a little bit there. He's still got some work to do to end up with a positive column.
Yeah, he gave up an unsportsmanlike conduct, was it earlier?
Yep. Looks like they are going to go for the field goal now.
This is some crazy theory. I don't understand the logic.
Well,
Surely they're going for
fourth
the
and
punt.
35 is a big ask. So
This is going to be a huge kick. This might
Yeah,
be
so
one of
it's
the biggest
gonna
kicks
be-
we've seen in GQ history. Should
this
they
will be
actually get
50
them to get-
plus,
Well, Torzok, I think.
or maybe they're punted.
Well, I think they could be punting here. Torzok also their punter, and that'll be the case. Yep, they will be punting the football.
I have seen a kick longer than 50 yards in, but not for many, many years.
Well, it's going to be even longer than that now.
Well, he'll have more of a target now.
Back deep to return for the Rhinos, the dangerous Cheyenne James.
Punters have told me they like a little bit more room to work with than run these pooch punts. I don't necessarily believe them, but
I think that just might have been the Stingrays mulling over their decision a bit too long there about whether they wanted to send out the punt unit or not. Torzok has been good with the field goal kicking boot tonight, save for his last attempt. Blocked. Good snap. And looks like a good punt. Spiraling beautifully to the goal line and angling to the sideline. This will be down around. Did they touch that?
I don't think. I think the Stingrays might have touched it, but yeah.
James Taylor downing that at the 10. That's a good punt there from Torzo.
Yeah, good. Took a nice bounce for them sideways. You don't want it going into the end zone, obviously. But yeah, one of those situations where ball's loose on the ground and you hope everyone on both sides of the ball knows what the rules are at that point.
That was actually a beautiful punt inside the 10. Looks like the Rhinos will be setting up shop at their own 8.
Well, the Rhinos have got to take this as a golden opportunity to drive the field and really put their stamp on this game and get back into it. If they have another quick 3 and out here, they might need to go in and make some real big adjustments at halftime. Winner rolling right.
Some rolling to his good side. Looking for an open man, and he's got it. That is Phil Newport's first catch of the evening.
Yeah, had a couple of options there. Newport came open underneath, but had Jervier over the top as well if he wanted.
British connection right there, or the British dual. British targets, I should say. The dual targets. Newport haven't been called on to punt yet. Hard count. Gets it on the second snap and play action pass over the middle. This time trying to get the other Londoner in Jervier. And that's Jervier's second drop on my count.
It was a good call because the Stingrays had shown a slight gap up the middle for the run, but I think we're disguising that with their linebackers came in rather quickly to fill on the play action. So it was a good call, just didn't connect with the receiver.
Chasing 7, 2nd and 10. Gwinner looking to the sidelines. Now has to run and will run and will get down and protect that football. Good to 5, 6, maybe even 7 yards on that carry.
Going to bring up 3rd and 1, maybe 2.
Okay, make that 9.
Oh, yeah, it looks like 2. Oh, I might have been wrong. Perspective is always difficult from up here.
Wonderful thing. 3rd and 2. Though is the down and distance here to convert. Keep this drive alive. This Rhinos offense, dare I say it, is looking a little lethargic compared to previous outings at least. Now they'll rejuvenate with a carry here to Gates. Gates will try to back his way forward. This will be close, but it should be a Rhinos first down.
Yeah, they're looking a little bit out of sorts, maybe coming up against a style of defense they haven't seen so far this year.
Goes down now, and Rhinos looking to use this clock. They've Booker, one of the best around of clock management.
Yep. Jamira Gates going out of the game. His helmet came off on that play, just getting adjusted on the sideline. They'll bring in Gonzalo Lugo.
And former DB has moved to running back this year. And we'll spell it, but here comes Cheyenne James with some open space. Breaks a tackle. Look at him go. Beats McAlpine. Now he's got blockers around the middle of the field. This will be a foot race. This will be a race to the end zone. He will outrace Sinapati. And now the Rhinos are on the board. No flags on that one. A big play there from CJ. We should have a tight ball game here in the middle of the second.
Lovely constructed play there. Nice little screen out to the outside, and CJ, exceptional balance and pace for a receiver. He's very hard to get down, especially in open field. You need to get hands on him, and you need to bring 2 or 3 guys after you do.
Well, this is something they kept whipping out last time they were on broadcast. They go to this swinging gate look, happy to kill it though if it's not the look they get, and they'll go back to a PAT formation. Newport looking to level the scores here with a successful PAT. Ball is down, kick is up, and kick is good. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rhinos have found their feet. 7-7 here in the second quarter.
We have a flag, but I believe it's going to be offside, so might be adding to the kickoff, I'd say.
Offside on defense. They'll
I
decline.
decline. Yep. No.
And we'll get on with the football game. What a play there from the Rhinos. Just when I said they were starting to look a little tired and strugglesome, in comes a big play from one of their biggest playmakers.
Yep. If Paludan's the go-to man for the Stingrays, CJ is definitely the go-to guy for the Rhinos. He's been an excellent servant for many, many years.
Look at Jordan Moko. Look at a lot of that was a good team touchdown. How many Rhinos did you see going downfield and blocking downfield for that play to make it happen?
Well, it was good. They sent the entire O-line downfield, basically. Left Gridiron on his own back there. A couple off the left side to make sure CJ got loose on the initial hit, but then all the other linemen were downfield finding guys to block.
And that's the difference between, say, 13 yards and 30 yards, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. And especially with CJ with his experience returning kickoffs, open field, is, that's right in his wheelhouse.
So that's the big play they've been waiting for him to make. He's been biding his time, waiting for his opportunity, converted once he was gifted that. Kicking off now is Newport. After kicking a successful PAT, checking off with his chase team and sends it downfield. It's a beaut. Alamin Hassan feeling it right on his own goal line. Here he goes upfield, looking to break it and getting the call of holding from the Rhinos sideline. No flags on the field as of yet, though, and for the second time today, the Rhinos will be setting up on the 22.
I thought it was good work from the Rhinos coverage team there. He is a dangerous returner. They did very well to keep their lanes and just contain him, not go over pursuing. Ended up at about the 23 by my looks.
Alamin Hassan, we mentioned earlier, former Rhino, but also a former Western Cougar, who are hoping that one day that club will return to its former glory.
Yeah, a bit of a journeyman making his way around the league. We've got a few people like that.
And here comes... No, I thought it was gifted James Taylor. It's a read option, and now working hard and pumping his legs is Damien Malloy. He'll get that to the 30, it looks like.
Impressive fake there, yeah. It was filled us up in the box.
I'll tell you what, he's quite good at it even when he's been a bit rusty. Every time he comes in, that read option's always dangerous because he's got good sleight of hand. Second down, actually, he picked up 8 yards on that read option. We got 2nd and 2. And there is the official 2-minute warning. Not a bad effort from our reference clock. Officially 2 minutes remaining here in this first half, where the scores are level 7-7. With 2 minutes remaining, James Taylor finds a big hole and a first down there on 2nd and 2. And it looks like we might be... Thought there might have been a timeout there. Nope.
No.
Chains are moving.
I would have thought they might have gone hurry up as well, but just running possibly trying to take the full 2 minutes if they do get down close.
First down at the Stingrays. Clock's the ticking. Ball on the Stingrays 38. Now we might see a timeout.
No, it might be forced timeout for equipment
James
violators.
Taylor doesn't have his chin strap taken out. There'll be an official's timeout. Happy days for the Rhinos if they're trying to get this ball back. A bit of personnel issues. Everything's sorted now. Through by one. James Taylor. No, Jonah Gardner replacing Taylor. Quick look to the right. Then, I think Riku Hataya didn't realise the ball had been thrown. It was a beaut.
Yeah, no, looking back, I didn't really seem to have any idea about where it was.
And they had the fade there. I think if Hataya knew that it was coming his way, he might have been trying to get that over his outside shoulder, but he was expecting it
First
quick.
rule as a receiver, keep running.
2nd down and 10. Clock stopped now. Probably around that 90-second mark. Same formation. And they're going to go to that left fade again. This time he does look for it, but this time it is overthrown. And now we've got 3rd and 10. And this is the danger of becoming a short drive for the Stingrays and an opportunity for the Rhinos to get the ball back with a fair bit of time on the clock and 2 timeouts.
Yeah, it could be very dangerous here for the Stingrays if they don't convert this third down. They'll be forced to punt almost.
Shout out to a couple of people watching, former Stingrays quarterback and John Curry tuning in. Justin Fairley, who did a fantastic job commentating from Bundaberg not too long ago.
Man of many talents.
3rd down and 10. Deep drop from Malloy. Malloy looking for Napier. Napier with the softest of hands. He's got the first down, but there is multiple flags down, including a late one just on the Rhinos sideline just then.
We also have one in the vicinity of holding.
Well, I'll leave it to you guys watching from home there to decide whether you thought that was a late hit or not. Malloy.
Rhinos are disputing it. It did look very close to the sideline.
What do you make of this new school Malloy going up instead of talking chat? He's shaking hands with the opposition.
In the old days, it would not have been tolerated.
It's different though. He's clearly up there talking something nice, exchanging niceties.
And that is one of the good things about so many players, so many.
I don't know if you can hear it at home, but we've got holding on the Stingrays on Dale Stanley, and then we've got the late hit out of bounds. So I think the yardage will offset, but...
No, both penalties assessed, so they'll go back 10 and then forward 15. So
as you can see, only 5 yards gain.
But the big news is first down.
First down because of the illegal hit out of bounds.
I say a good thing about so many Sun Devils tours that guys get to know each other and don't hate each other as much as they used to.
Short hit to Paludan. He's got plenty of Rhinos in front of him though. Can't make any magic happen with this one. A great tackle there. Cheyenne James and Ernest Moore there to make the stop. Timeout here. But to whom? Looks like the Rhinos. Calling timeout. Starting to smell a bit of blood in the water. Going to try and get this ball back before the end of half.
Yeah, just their defense, make sure they don't give up anything big. If they can limit them here, they might still get the ball back with some time to do something. Gwynner, very, very good at running with a limited time on the clock, and like we've already seen, got the weapons to pull off some big plays.
And you can see him right on screen, the man you're talking about, just getting a bit of H2O in his system. That's got to be that last name's got to lead to us plenty of good nicknames, right? All he does is Gwyn. Gwynner.
Yeah. Everyone needs a good nickname. But despite what some people say, you don't get to choose your own.
Well, with a last name like that, it kind of just writes itself. 2nd down and 6. Malloy assessing the field and throwing for Paludan, and he's got it. And they're on the move.
Coverage was good. He got his hand in there, but Paludan just better.
And it's that little skinny post on the outside there, getting inside leverage on his DB.
Malloy with a quick spike. Stop the clock.
Well, they got the opportunity to go into the half with the lead here, even if it's by 3 points. Haven't got an official time, unfortunately, but it would have to be probably inside 50 seconds, I'd be guessing.
Yeah, if they're going to the trouble of spiking it, then yeah, they're definitely under a minute.
2nd down and 10, ball at the 24. 24 yards out from touchdown territory. We've got McLoy rolling out to his right and throwing for Jaden Paludan, but probably a safe throw there. It was either going to be a touchdown or nothing.
Yeah, right to the very back of the end zone. Rhinos got good pressure up the middle again, but just got the man coming through just got wrong-footed as he got through. which gave Malloy time to leak out to his preferred right side, but just couldn't connect with the receiver. It was well covered.
Third down here. The interesting situation here is if they just choose to run it here, force the Rhinos to take a timeout, they've got some remaining, and kick a field goal, or whether they're going to take a shot here, and their formation suggests the latter. Multiple vertical patterns. He'll throw to Napier, one of the few not running one of those. And now that'll be a free timeout for the Rhinos here, and let's see if they send out Terzok's right boot.
Yeah, no, my odds with on them taking a shot there. The Stingrays do like to gamble a little bit, and if they are going to go for the field goal,
Terzok's taking someone off.
It's within his range.
You can see
but they might be going for it.
They're going for it here. They'll look to convert and spike. They don't have to go for the end zone here. I imagine there's probably a little bit of time on the clock if they catch it beyond 10, but short of the end zone. And throwing it to... Oh, and that's too high even for the contortionism of Jaden Palliadan. So there'll be a turnover on downs. The Rhinos, they will not be behind on the scoreboard here following a good defensive stand.
Yep, the regulation 15-yard comeback just wasn't able to get two hands to it.
He was open.
It was the right route call.
37 seconds.
Rhinos had been covering the end zone, so he had room to come back, take the ball and get out of bounds, but just wasn't able to connect.
37 seconds. Rhinos with at least one timeout remaining.
Look for some trickery here.
Well, they've got the speed to just go downfield.
Yeah.
And pump fake. They've got a double move on the outside. Jovier's underneath it, but so is Napier, and Napier's taking this ball away with that turnaround. 37 seconds. Jeez, it looks like we'll be going into the half with a tied ball game, but there is just that fraction of time on the clock if the Stingrays are feeling a little risky.
Yep. Well, the receiver had the step, but just underthrown.
It's the third interception for the Rhinos offense today. Napier, Sinapati, and Suarez all collecting INTs here in the first half.
Yeah, Rhinos were definitely ruining their missed opportunities in this half, but the good news is it's looking likely that it'll be a tied ball game. Assuming something crazy doesn't happen here, they'll get to reset at halftime, make their adjustments, and so you can come out stronger in the second.
Ball's at the 31. They would need to go 59 yards. That's right, 59. Because
that being said, Malloy will take multiple shots here.
Well, they can. 37 seconds. That took maybe 10 seconds that last play. Malloy will run here. We'll get this to the 41. 10 yards on that scramble, and they'll take one of their timeouts here. Malloy's just updating the Rhinos on the timeout situation. The Rhinos seem to believe they were out of timeouts, and Malloy just said we had two. We had one more. We just used that one. Now that's three. Quick maths.
There's the old Damo we know and love.
There was nothing
or love to hate.
I just love the tone of voice behind it. There was nothing malicious about it. It was just matter of fact.
Yes. Well played, sir. Well played. I believe that would be their last, though, so whatever we see from here.
Justin Fernley with some throwing some chat from Bundy. I'll let you guys to look at the stream if you want to hear that. First down, approximately 20 seconds, maybe less on the clock. No timeouts remaining for the Stingrays. Hit as he's thrown, but he's got Napier. Napier can't get to the sideline. He'll be tackled inbounds by Ahern. And this might take us to the half. The Stingrays taking a timeout, which I didn't think they had. Now, forgive me, I haven't been keeping track of the timeouts, so that's my fault. But after we heard from Malloy...
Well, they took one down in the Rhinos' red zone earlier. I think they had the equipment violation before. I thought that was a charged timeout.
That should be a charged timeout.
But maybe the rules have changed on that.
Forgive me for not knowing if that is the case, but my belief is that it is a team charged timeout if a player of yours is sent off for faulty equipment. And then it should be a penalty against a team for taking a timeout if they do not have any remaining. Well, in any case, it seems like they had a third one.
Well,
second down and 1. Ball inside Rhino territory, only just. Ball at the Rhinos 42. Very few seconds remaining. Pump fake here from Malloy. Scrambles, has to throw short. We'll get it to Napier. Napier gets out of bounds. So, Gorton, oh no, sorry, Matauti is wanting a holding call. And I see Tozok warming up his leg.
we're starting to approach his range. Do we have any idea of what his ceiling is?
Haven't seen his ceiling, but the way he's been hitting him, this would probably be at his absolute ceiling from what we've been seeing on his PATs. And most trained kickers, no matter whether they're 1 yard out or if they're 50 yard out, they're trained to kick it the exact same way.
In his favour, the wind has died a little bit.
Still lining up with intention to get downfield. Malloy, sign in the right slot, throws left, gets his man in Hataya, but Hataya won't be able to get to the sideline here, and now it's been stripped, but there has been a whistle. There has been a whistle. Malloy will tackle Jervier. I think that was making the big, but we definitely heard a whistle.
I think they're going to rule forward progress on that one.
This should, again, I've said it before, so I could be wrong, but this should see us to the half. How many timeouts do the Stingrays have? And both teams seemingly making their way to their respective sidelines now, so that should see us. Now we're seeing Malloy and Booker talking about the timeout
I want to get a microphone down that conversation because that's going to be
chat.
hilarious. Those two both love a chat.
Both of them love a football debate, and that will see us complete this first half. Malloy ultimately saying, I don't know the situation, it's up to the referees to handle it. And that will be the end of the first half here. 7-7. Scores locked with one touchdown apiece here in week 7 in the second of 2 games broadcasted by live streaming Brisbane. I'm Kenny Andres. Phil Levis here. We'll take a short break and be back here for the second half. 7-7. The scores locked here from Frank Lindoval. All right, welcome back, folks. Second half upon us here in Week 7, the final game of the men's division here in Week 7. Speaking of sevens, we've got a 7-7 ball game here. The Rhinos defending home turf and the Stingrays visiting here, trying to give the Rhinos the first loss of their season, and likewise for the Stingrays. Both teams undefeated here. Rhinos 5-0, Stingrays 4-0. One of these teams is going home with an L this evening.
Yeah, tale of missed opportunities really for both teams in that second half. Stingrays drove it down deep only a couple of times, only able to come away with the one TD. Did kick a field goal, but then elected to go for the touchdown when they were awarded a penalty on that kick. Rhinos 3 intercepts so far.
One of which in the red zone.
Yeah, one. Not too many opportunities in the red zone. Did have one big play that went for the touchdown, but a lot of missed opportunities and not stalled drives, but prematurely ended drives.
It is a weird decision that these Stingrays had to face. They had a successful field goal, but a penalty on there allowed them to get a fresh set of downs. And as I've said a couple times with the broadcast, conventional wisdom says you get the free set of downs inside the 5, you take it. But in a game where scoring is so hard to come by, and I guess maybe you would have known in the situation, I guess in hindsight you might have wanted to keep those 3 points.
Unfortunately, hindsight's 2020, and it seemed to everyone the best decision at the time.
I don't think they'll lose any sleep over that. Phil Newport to get us underway here in the second half. Kenny Andres, Phil Levis, and this will be a touchback. As we continue, there's a blockbuster of a game midway through the 2019 Gridiron Queensland season. The broadcast brought to you by Live Streaming Brisbane.
Decent kick there from Newport. Managed to get it away from the receiver, but didn't flirt with the sideline, which is always dangerous.
From what we saw from both these two teams, Malloy was moving the ball and through the air, made a couple of big plays, a long touchdown to Jaden Paludan early to put them on the board, and then used his feet a lot of the time to convert some of these third and short situations. Your preview for him here in the second half.
I think they're going to stick with a lot of the same. They only connected on one of their deep balls. The rest of it was all underneath stuff, and the feeling is the Rhinos will give them that.
Wow, now is that an early whistle? Arguing that there was an early whistle. Of course, on replays you won't be able to hear when the whistle came through, but I tell you what, it was a 50-50 call.
Very close. It looked like he might have had his butt on the ground before the ball started. It's when the ball starts coming out, though, is the issue.
First down and 10, successful first down play to open the second half drive. James Taylor is facing ferocious defense right now. One of the defensive tackles trying to strip the ball away from him.
Yeah, Rhino's sensing a little bit of a weakness there. The ball security of the Stingrays might be an issue. Also, does stop the Stingrays running back from trying to get downfield if he feels the ball coming out.
James Taylor started explosively in the first half, did come to a bit of a slow, and as more seemed to be his kryptonite by half's end. And this will be short pass to Napier. Napier started to find some life towards the end of the first half. He grabs his first catch of the second, and that'll be awfully close to a first.
Well, it's going to be 3rd and 8. Like a couple of yards short.
8 yards, then 2, following the 7.5. Ball now just 4 yards short of halfway. Third down conversion here for the Stingrays, the first of the second half. Gotta know it's a keeper to Malloy. Malloy once again tricking us here in the booth. He keeps it and looks like he's got a first.
Nice little inside read option there. Obviously saw a bit of a hole off the right side. Either that or he's just running away from Sam Matautia, which is not a bad call on your own.
Can't blame it all for that. What's interesting, though, is Jonah Gardner used very sparingly. I wonder if that's a reflection of his health or perhaps even training. I know teams are nowadays a lot more stringent on the, training being reflective to game time there, but has only been used once, twice, maybe only 3 carries I've seen him out there, one of which, though, ripped off for a 67-yard gain.
Yeah, he might be carrying an injury or he might be, just a bit underdone.
Right now, he looks like he'll be coming in to do some work. This time he'll get the carry. He'll lower his shoulder and will be taken down a couple of yards short of the Rhinos 40.
Looks like Jack Lowe on the tackle there, once again trying to rip the ball out.
I think Hits Williams might have got away with a bit of a hold there, but it's on the backside. Second half here. Start of the second half. First possession for either team here, and the Stingrays trying to add to their 7 points so far. A long ball to Napier, but it's too long. Sails over the sideline. We've got 3rd and 5.
Yeah, good coverage there from the Rhinos, right there. Tight coverage, good pressure on them all the way. And we'll see what the Stingrays come up with here. This would probably be 4 down territory for them, I imagine.
It's hard to pick it right now, but they have been erring on the side of gambling on 4th down. 3rd, probably just less than 5 yards to go. Gardner's still the tailback. Napier is not the man who'll go for it. It's 1-on-1 with Ricky Hataya, and Jovier wins that 1-on-1 battle.
Excellent coverage. Stayed level with his man the whole way. When he got the call, the ball was in, turned his head and had position.
You play a better trail technique than that.
No, that's what you want in the textbook for how to cover a fade.
And just getting confirmation on the game that ended towards the back end of ours. The Ravens have seemingly handled the Griffith University Thunder. Last score I saw was 37 points to 0. I think that is 37 points to 6 is the final score. So the Thunder got on the board late there.
Yeah, a bit of a reversal of fortunes this year from last for the Thunder, but plenty of time left in the season.
Oh, exactly right. I wouldn't be writing him off anytime soon. Here's a strong run here from Jeremiah Gates. Had a strong start to the first half. A couple of receptions that went for more than 10 yards a pop, and was very damaging when the ball was handed off to him as well.
Yeah, they will go back to him in that capacity at some point, but just starting off with the basic run play up the middle, getting on the front foot, 2nd and less than 10, opens up the playbook for them a lot.
Looking at 2nd and 7 upcoming. Ball on the 25. Play action pass now. Gwinner over the middle to Cheyenne James, who's got a touchdown tonight. It's only his 4th catch, though, I believe. And one of which of those close to a 50-yard screenplay that put the Rhinos on the board.
Looks like nearly a 20-yard gain there to get the Rhinos up near midfield and going with the hurry up again. 2 by 2.
And now we've got ball 3 yards short of the 50. It'll be a keeper for Gwinner, and he'll decide to follow the block of Shanks, and he'll take it out of bounds at the Stingrays 47.
A bit lucky there for the Stingrays. It looks like it was a free play. There's a flag down for offside on the far side. We'll see how many. I imagine the Rhinos will accept that and keep the extra down. It might lose them a yard from where he got to.
And they'll take the remaining yards.
Nope, Gwinner wants the stats. Much better spot than I thought. That explains it. 2nd
down and 2. And met in the backfield early, and he's still wrestling with him, but here comes the stop troops. And ultimately, this might even be a small loss for the Rhinos.
We'll see who got 3 there on that one.
Coming back on initial contact, number 59, the defensive end in Lewis Carroll. Had a good start to the season against the Thunder, the first time we saw the Stingrays on broadcast. Hull showing blitz. Sorry, Langstrom, my apologies. And another play action pass, RPO, and it's Cheyenne James over the middle, breaking tackles, almost losing the football, juggling and keeping the ball, give him a cat and a chainsaw. He holds on to the football though. We've got 1st down, our Rhinos right inside the red zone.
Impressive work again there from Cheyenne James. Sheds 1, 2, 3, but just manages to the 3rd defender managed to get his hands on the ball and knock it out, but excellent concentration to make sure it didn't end up in the Stingray
Not a
hand.
whole lot of time in that huddle. A roll out to the right to Gwinner. He's got Shanks in the end zone, but he'll take the underneath option to Jerv. Yeah, proves to be a good one. They're now inside the 5. Nope. Check that. Ruled out of bounds at the 7. Knocking on the door now. Rhinos.
Rhinos looking to pick apart this defense. They've obviously sat down and identified a few things they can exploit.
Well, 7-7 stalemate. A fantastic display from both these teams in the first half. Second half, though, that shows which team will be able to adjust better, and they'll probably be the winner of this Week 7 matchup. Gwinner. Hard count. Doesn't get anybody. Quick throw and intercepted. His 4th of the night.
No, we do have a flag
We
down.
have got a flag down. That would be Napier on the would-be pick should this flag not deny him. And that would be their second red zone interception.
I think it might have been Sammy Holloway there offside. He seemed upset with himself and has left the field.
And yeah, I think it'd be correct there. So the Rhinos breathe an extreme sigh of relief there.
I think they might have seen that Brandon might have seen that flag and thrown the ball anyway, knowing that whatever happened, he was going to have the right outcome.
You might be right there. The benefits of a free play there. Just throw it into the end zone and see what happens. So, no 4th interception tonight on his list. McAlpine comes to the line of scrimmage early, and they'll trust Gates to bowl this over. But it won't be on this down. Another strong display from this defensive front from the Stingrays.
Yeah, Rhino's going with double tight there, but the Stingrays obviously aware of what they'll most likely signify a run up the middle, and ready to catch it. I think that might be a difference between the teams the Rhinos have played previously and the Stingrays, that the Stingrays can adjust on the fly a lot better than some of the other teams in the league.
David Hill calling his defense to watch out for the screen to Chiam James. And it will be a pass. Chiam James is open. A great route, great catch, and a good score here for the Rhinos. They take the lead here early in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah,
13 with a PAT to come.
Stingrays came up and played bump there. Did very well to get off the receiver, and good patience by Gwinner to wait until he'd gotten open and getting the ball in the right spot.
And he was working on his old teammate there in McAlpine. Now a Stingray. And there's a route that he won early and got the benefits of late. Newport here to attempt the PAT after their usual theatrics to begin with. The kick is up, and kick is well and truly good. We've got a 7-point score. The Rhinos now have the lead for the first time tonight.
Impressive drive by the Rhinos. Went down, like I said, picked apart the secondary a little bit. Still have to get a little bit better at running the ball up the middle before they can really dominate this game, but we'll see what the Stingrays are able to come up with in reply.
There's Chiam James' second touchdown catch of the day. 2 different styles though. There's Gwinner's second throw, obviously. 2 passing touchdowns to add to his numbers for this season. In double digits. Makes it his 25th passing touchdown here in 2019. Has 5 on the ground as well.
Impressive numbers through just 5.5 games.
Though has more than doubled his INTs. Only had 2 coming into this game. 1 against the Thunder, 1 against the Ravens, and tonight has 3 against the Stingrays defensive backfield.
Yeah, a lot of those are rolling to his offside, so we'll see whether they make an adjustment there, or whether the Stingrays can run the sort of same coverage to his good side and see whether they get lucky.
And here comes Alamin Hassan again, looking for a block, finds one. Now he's up the middle, slicing him up the guts. He's got space, saved for a great tackle by the kicker wide receiver and Phil Newport. That might have saved him a huge chunk of yardage.
And he's Turner is down, getting up gingerly.
Currently being helped.
Like it might have been in the tackle that rolling sort of tackle might have twisted something.
Well, they had to stop now. They tried carrying him off the field, but now John Roop has told him to stay down and let's assess it properly. And now again he returns to his attempt to walk off the field, but he's doing so very gingerly.
The way he was holding it there, it's either a knee or a hamstring.
In any case, once he gets off the field, it will be 1st and 10 Stingrays. It was a good return. The ball's been marked down at the 40.
Yeah, Stingrays managed to get a nice little seam for him there. Just got caught by the kicker.
That's their longest return tonight. Previous returns have got them to the 21 and 22 respectively. And now they start off with good field position, the best of the night. Short throw completed that to Tonga Kilo, who's returned to his tight end days there. He might have a first down grab.
There's something to be said for a big target.
Well, Cerritos College, it's also the shirt he was wearing in pre-game today, where his first opportunity beyond Australia. They started at linebacker, eventually they quickly moved him to tight end, where he did a fantastic couple of years playing for them. Caught a number of touchdowns from that very man throwing the football now, and this is a short throw that will not be converted. Now we'll have a 3rd and short. Big hit.
Good tackling there from the Rhinos. The secondary is known more for its coverage than its tackling, but that was good men to the ball, right to the point of attack.
I think that might have been Ahern on the tackle. That's becoming a good matchup there between Ahern and Paludan.
Yeah, Paludan's got the best of it so far, but Ahern might be making his case. Looks like a few Stingrays being told they have to come off the field. Helmet. Someone lost a helmet, I believe.
I want to see Jamal Sinapati standing without a helmet now.
I think he was just arguing the point, but I think it was Bailey Harding.
Came off earlier with an injury, but looks like he'll be okay.
I keep thinking there's a flag on the field, but one of the Stingrays linemen just has a very yellow boot.
Spoke to John Arup at halftime.
It's just on the outside of the boot, not on the outside.
Yeah, spoke to John Arup at halftime. She said all players should be able to return from what she assessed in the game, as we see another 3rd down run here, and that is converted on 3rd and short. So the Stingrays, they continue this drive, chasing the 7-point deficit they have found themselves early in the 3rd.
Yeah, I think the Stingrays just might have been holding Gardner for the second half. He's been a bit more involved in after half time.
James Taylor back, but now will be lining up in the left slot. So they're finding a way to use both backs now. Tonga Kilo in the right slot. This is one big package. And under pressure is Malloy, beats the would-be sacker, throws the ball to James Taylor very, very quickly at his waist. And Taylor collects that nicely, turns what would have been a sack to a, once they mark it, a 7-yard gain.
Yep, that's the danger with Damien Malloy. You've really got to break down because he's very elusive, and the veteran experience, he knows when you're coming and how to get around a player. You've got to give him absolutely no opportunity or he will take advantage. 2nd
and short. Let's see if they give it to Gardner. That they do. And Gardner breaks the first tackle, falls forward to convert. Some of the officials starting to cop it from the... well, actually, I would say it's the home field, but it's actually the Stingrays who are occupying the one of the...
The opposite balcony from
the opposite balcony from our broadcast area. 1st down and 10. This is a slow, methodical, but effective drive here from the Gold Coast Stingrays to open up their second half. Gardner moves to the right of Malloy. And it'll be a pass. They're looking to the right. They wanted to hit that fade to Paludan. He does not have it. Flag's been thrown during the middle of that route there. Let's see if they were getting a bit too handsy.
I think so. I think it's going to be defensive holding.
I think there's that Jovier they've now tasked
Yeah.
with it. And yeah, I think there might be a bit of defensive holding. I think you're on the money. How about the tracking shot there from our camera operator?
Excellent work.
See one of the Jack Lows there. Jersey number 43. Standout player in the junior division last year. Another one who's making the jump where he's pretty much skipping a division and going straight to men's.
Very impressive as an athlete to be able to do that.
And it is against the Rhinos there, so they're going to get 10 yards plus a fresh set. I think it also probably speaks volume of the program that Coach Booker's developing here at the Rhinos, that there is enough faith for them to obviously compete at the men's level. And this will be an awkward exchange. It will be a fumble, and then Ernest Moore will eventually tackle Malloy, and that'll mark him back here on second down. Now we're looking at 2nd and 16 at least.
Yeah, Stingrays there still having difficulty matching up with who's coming and who's staying. Matauti had come up in the line, and the guard decided to take him rather than the man that was over him.
Looking at 2nd and 16 now. Dylan Napier, who's been very busy in this third quarter. He's in the left slot. Malloy clapping his hands, gets the ball, looking to the middle of the field, but the pressure doesn't allow him to get the pass off. A sack there on 2nd and long, and this will make it 3rd and a little bit longer.
Looks like he just ran straight into Akeem Allen, straight up the middle. Just laying in wait. Yeah, fighting off the double team, and yep, it doesn't get much easier than that as far as sacks go when the QB just runs straight into you.
Markable win there for Akeem Allen over Dale Stanley. Got right underneath his pads on that play, and Malloy's coming off now, and Tonga Kilo looks like he's calling the huddles. Tonga Kilo's coming in on 3rd down.
And Malloy looks like he's having issues with his helmet.
Yep, he's getting confirmation. Yeah, Malloy lost his helmet on that play. It means he has to take at least one play off, so Tonga Kilo will take the snaps at least on this one play, rolls to his left. He has to dodge some pressure now, and he's not going to escape. The Rhinos on back-to-back sacks.
We had an early whistle.
They had the ball. Matautia and Ernest Moore are going to run this in regardless, but the whistle has denied them, and that's not the first time tonight the Rhinos feel they've been unjustly done by an early whistle.
Ernest will be filthy about that one. A couple of weeks ago at the Thunder, he ran a extra point back 100 yards for a 2-point, but then Sam Matautia got in on offense and managed to score a touchdown on a little out route to the front of the end zone.
Well, it's funny you say that. I think Matautia was trying to pay it back there. We might not catch it on here as we're going to take a look at where forward progression / the fumble may or may not have started. As you can see, Tonga Kilo.
Oh, that was definitely
coming out. That's an unlucky call for the Rhinos. They should have been turning that back for another touchdown there. That is a lifeline there for the Gold Coast Stingrays. But
yeah, the Rhinos have to be careful here and not give up the first down. Anything silly or a busted play,
you need to be able
because
to
that could be a real momentum turner.
But what we didn't see on screen there is Matautia actually pitching the ball back to Ernest Moore, trying to get him back that touchdown right at the end. In any case, 4th down now, 4th and long. Malloy's back in, throws off his back foot. Ball will be intercepted, and bringing it back now is number 30 beating tackles, and now he loses the ball, and we're now wondering, this will be a first down for the Stingrays. Why didn't he just bat it down? It was 4th down. Now we have a Stingray player down, bringing that back for the Rhinos. It was number 30, and that was the veteran safety. Well, I say veteran, he's a 2nd-year safety, and Jake Price, who's been really relied on this year, but that was 4th down, Phil Levis.
Yeah, it's hard to tell DBs not to intercept the ball, but that's one of those situations they've got to have the awareness on that, especially that deep, bat it down, let the offense take the ball in good field position, because these are the sorts of things that can happen. It was looking like he might return it all the way, and then he's dropped it, and that gives the Stingrays a first down.
Well, we've still got a Stingray down hidden by the Rhinos sideline. I think it's Taylor. He's getting up now. And he will make his way. I don't know if he'll head back to the bench. No, John LaRoupe's going to instruct him to go to the medical tent. And here's the thing. If he doesn't fumble this ball and he takes it back, no one's obviously saying anything. But, you know, we talk about hindsight being 20/20. That's another situation where it's relevant.
Yeah, awareness is also an issue. You fourth down, probably a good idea to tell your DBs to just bat it down, and if they do intercept it, they've got to have good ball security.
Especially when it's a situation where it wasn't exactly a pick.
It wasn't carrying like a loaf of bread, but it was still a bit loose.
Yeah, there was a pick deep in his own territory, and this will be incomplete. So, once again, 2 strokes of luck for the Stingrays, one of which was a fumble call that went in their favour, and now it's, as we're going to get a look at that last play there, but the second of which...
This has a real potential to be a real turning point in the match. Like I said, 2 very fortunate plays for the Stingrays. If they can take advantage, they could build some momentum. If they go a quick 3 and out here, the Rhinos will be wiping their brows and getting back on with the job.
And Malloy now, QB keeper. He good stiff arm on James Cowlishaw. And he will get this forward about a yard and a half short of a first down. But peaks and valleys is football, and you need to be able to control your emotions and be able to play the next play.
Yeah, you're going to get bad calls. You're going to get unfortunate outcomes of plays. It's what you do on the next play that really matters.
14-7 Stingrays currently in pursuit. Jonah Gardner, he'll get a carry, bounces out to the right-hand side, follows the block, but will be taken down from behind. A good chase down there from one of the interior players. First down, Stingrays.
Yeah, Stingrays having a wealth of talent at running back. They're able to bring Jonah Gardner in well rested from the first half.
Matautia there making the tackle. And I wonder if that's a tactic that he very much seemed rested in that first half, was not utilised much at all, despite what his yardage may suggest.
It might have just been James Taylor had the hot hand and they just went with it.
And wouldn't surprise me either. James Taylor, especially early in the game, was probably averaging over 4 yards.
Yeah. Might have just been a training battle. Taylor got the start and didn't really give Gardner a look in until after half time.
Second down and 10. Really tight splits here. The furthest wide receiver is Hurtaya, who's only just outside the hashes. And Malloy forced to roll out to his right, throwing for the end zone, but is that almost another interception? Again, another situation where a receiver turned into a defensive back and saved an interception. Seen both sides do it now.
Yeah, a little bit of a blown coverage there and then underthrown by Malloy. Obviously on the run, didn't quite get it to where it needed to be, and the DB was almost able to make an interception in the end zone.
And Jervier with another big play. Paludan was the intended wide receiver, and you're right, he was open in the end zone. And now we've got another Stingray down, clutching at his right calf.
It's cramp time.
It's Riku Hataya, probably past his usual snap count for the veteran. He's been close to 10 years now.
20th straight year of playing football.
There we go, 20th straight year, double way, original estimation.
Not all with the Stingrays.
I was about to say, not all with the Stingrays. I think that's probably
Stingrays since 2012.
2012. There you go. I wasn't too far off.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, Nikitayo, I think, was playing in Finland, if memory serves correctly. Craig? Finland? Is he started playing football? Yep. Of course. Obviously, that Finnish last name, and Hataya. Soft J.
So hard to tell though these days.
Got a couple of different European imports in this year. A couple of Polish imports, I think, playing around.
Yeah,
One of the Rhinos, who I think is our mystery man in 37, and there's one over at the Thunder, I believe. Third down and 10. Ball on the 25. Malloy throwing to the right-hand side again and again, out of the reach of an open Jaden Paludan. That comeback has been available to them multiple times now on key downs. That was third down and long there, and they haven't been able to complete it.
It's the second time he's overthrown it too. Might just be trying to get it in there a bit too quick. not throwing it early enough, realising he's not throwing it early enough and putting too much pepper on it.
Sometimes a tendency to overthrow some of those passes, especially when you know that it's going to be open. You can see the route developing.
Yeah.
And just put a bit too much pepper on it. 4th down now. No thought of a field goal. They're going out with another 3-by-1 formation. Gardner in the backfield with them. Rhinos showing blitz. They've been successful blitzing Malloy today. This time I think they only send 4, though. 1-on-1 to the outside to Hull. And the pass is well short. And now we've got a flag and the Rhino sideline erupts. They are not liking the thought of a potential PI here. Let's take a look. Well, I don't know. We miss a bit of that route there, but it looks pretty good to me.
I looked at it a little bit before that, and I couldn't quite see what she was calling there. And the Rhinos coach is signalling that he thinks it was uncatchable.
Which would nullify any pass interference. In any case, I mean, look, I only saw the back end of that there from probably a similar look of what you guys saw at home, but
I didn't see any holding. There was contact, but it was mutual all the way down the field.
I wouldn't be surprised to see this flag waved off. And that's what the Rhinos are certainly hoping for. They feel like they haven't had the rub of the green lately.
No, it counts.
They're going to count it, and I've physically seen one of the Rhinos sideline members just fall back in disbelief there. Very unhappy with the call in this particular instance against them.
That's half distance and first down.
Henrik Walters called for the PI there on Noah Hull. 2 youngsters going at it. Alamin Hassan now in the left slot. Dylan Napier. One more in from him. Jaden Paludan on the right side. They've got him open on the slant if he wants it, but he's going to go for Hull again. And Henrik Walters with a miraculous interception. Flipped, but that doesn't bother him. We've got flags down at the line of scrimmage. The Rhinos again might have another play taken away from them. Get a look at this. Oh, well, the good news is he got up there.
Guilty of sending 2 receivers to the same spot on the field.
What a
and
grab.
Malloy just threw it up there, and
another
impressive leap.
And the fact that he holds on, he lands on his head. So good job of riding the peaks and valleys we have aforementioned. And they come away with a big play that gets their offense back on the field and more importantly preserves this 7-point lead here late in the third.
Yeah, Rhinos will be
quality stuff.
Impressive to hang on to that after he landed like that. That's impressive hands and concentration and commitment. Oh, end of the third quarter.
Oh, there we go.
The Rhinos will be very happy to have gotten away from that without conceding any points. The number of plays that didn't come out the way they wanted to.
And you've got to build resilience.
Yep.
And I think it was actually one of the Rhinos members with, I think it was Mr. Glasson, Ryan Glasson, who was talking about one of their key games at state where they gave up a few penalties, but they were so used to it with their style of play that they felt they could ride the waves of the calls a little better than some of their opposition. And that's part of the reason they ended up, one of the reasons they got their way to victory there in one of the successful men's state campaigns is because they could just ride the momentum or failed momentum from bad calls, and it is a thing.
Yeah, there's something to be said for building a bit of mental resistance.
Managing headspace, yeah.
Yes.
First down and 10. After a very long drive in the third quarter for the Stingrays that ultimately culminates in 0 points for them. Here's a whistle here that saves a potential fumble. Second down on 9 off of that 1 yard carry. Gates turning it forward.
Yeah, another right in the middle for a short gain. I think they'll be working towards play action on that later in the game. I wouldn't mind seeing Gates get more out on a screen pass. Or
it worked for them at the start of the game. Start of the fourth quarter now. 1 play deep into the fourth. The Rhinos lead at 14-7, have got possession back after resisting a big Stingray attack on their own goal line. And this will be a quarterback keeper for Gwinner. Gwinner's found himself into the backfield, and eventually Tonga Kilo takes him down strong.
Excellent blocking there out in front by Jeremiah Gates. See him just open a little crease here for Gwynner to pop through. Just gets Glenn Subban off his line and lets Gwynner get through for the first down.
First down and 10. Gwynner with 3 receivers to his right. Double touchdown scorer, and Cheyenne James won't be needed as they give this inside to Gates again.
Yeah, you managed to get a bit more momentum up. The previous runs up the middle, he'd been stopped early before he could really get moving, but they managed to open a bigger hole. And yeah, once he gets a head of steam behind him, it's going to take a little bit to stop him.
Let's call it here with fourth quarter and the clock ticking.
I would be surprised if they go to Newport on a fade before long. He's singled up over here, and those runs up the middle, the DB looks a little distracted.
And another keeper. Gwynner calls his own number, runs into the back of his own lineman, and his lineman will be credited for the tackle. That'll be enough for a first down. Could have been a lot more. First down and 10. This is a good drive here for the Rhinos, given their 7-point lead. Currently
Still staying in hurry up though.
Yeah, but it feels like a slower hurry up than maybe
they do use all their time at the line.
And play action pass. Gwynner looking downfield to underneath it. Trying to see who was under. It was Calder Shanks streaking down the field. Couldn't quite connect. Working McAlpine on that fade.
He's underthrown a few balls tonight. That one he really gave it all and just overthrew by no more than a yard.
And Shanks was a safety coming across. I'm not sure actually who was the cornerback matched up with in that. It might have been Reese Perkins. Reese Perkins, who's floating around, was playing linebacker at the start this season. And now it looks like he's moved back out to his traditional position of cornerback. Right now he's on Jovier. Gates is again used as a decoy, and that springs Cheyenne's James open for what might be the ceiling touchdown. Although we've got plenty of time left here in the fourth. That's his third touchdown reception this evening.
Superb play call. Had them looking for the run and just found that space underneath the DB, underneath the linebackers. Single free safety, not able to stop Cheyenne James in open field.
That's McAlpine not having a fun night against James. It wasn't his
responsibility
there.
But you want to see him catching the ball underneath you.
It's twice now he's been beaten, and they will actually snap it here on this funky swinging gate look they have during that PAT attempt, but that goes as successfully as a lot of those plays goes, and they'll leave a point.
It is a hard one to pull off, but they do need to work on a little bit more, I think.
And, well, that's what successful running game will do. They gave them the same look that they had been all game. They've been managing to churn out first downs with Gates, and then they find the space in between the linebackers. And Cheyenne James, he doesn't need a whole lot of space.
No, he does. Absolutely does not. And he had ample room there. As soon as he caught it, I thought, there's no way he's getting stopped.
Yeah, tell me, Phil, is that enough?
It just might be. The Stingrays have moved the ball, but they haven't looked especially prolific. And I'd say the Rhinos from here are really going to try and put their foot on the throat.
Well, yeah, you're right. The way they've moved the ball, Rhinos have since tightened up, and they've forced them to throw passes underneath. They've forced them to run the ball. Not since the long pass to Jaden Paludan early in the first quarter have we seen a long strike from the Gold Coast Stingrays.
Yeah, no, they got caught on a blown coverage, and they haven't really given up a big play, except for one run up the middle. They haven't given up a big play since.
Newport booms this downfield. Won't be returned, I don't think so, or will it? This actually can be recovered. He better get on that, and he will. Hassan back on the field now. He's got space down the right-hand sideline. Is this the big play they're looking for? He won't beat Newport. Again, Phil Newport chasing his own kick and saving what would be a long return from the Stingrays.
That for a coach would be the reason they need heart medication, because
wouldn't have that been a commentator's curse or
oh
like that?
no, yeah, because we weren't sure whether Hassan knew he had to pick that up because it hadn't bounced into the end zone. It took a freakish bounce, looked like it was going to bounce back and go over the sideline, but then stopped again, and just managed to realise, I have to pick this up before a Rhino can dive on it and give them the ball inside the 5.
Just to remind everyone, a kickoff is different to a punt in that it's live. Once it's crossed 10 yards, that can be recovered by the Rhinos.
Can be recovered but not advanced. So he couldn't pick it up and run it into the end zone.
But they would have been getting the ball in some pretty favourable position. Malloy, quick throw, but no one on the end of it. Pass is intended to Jaden Paludan.
I think just off target there with the little bubble screen. Yeah, Paludan took a little bit more of a looping run, hoping to get away from the DBs a bit more, and Damien just put it out in front of him a bit too much. But this puts more pressure on the Stingrays offense that they've got to produce now to keep in touch.
Assesses the defense. Rhinos show blitz, but send 4, and this is almost intercepted. Well, the man who's having a contrasting night, a man who goes by the name Jay. He's one of the, I think he's the Polish import. We talked with the Polish player we discussed earlier. Yeah,
excellent coverage there. You see it looks like man, but that DB is just dropping underneath the little short post that they ran. So they know that's one of the Stingrays' key players, the little short post over the middle.
And under pressure is Malloy. He won't escape the rush. That is a Jack Lowe taking him down. Huge play by the young man.
Supported by Jack Lowe from the other side. It's a Lowe sandwich, literally. Jack Lowe in the bottom, Jack Lowe over the top.
And there's Jack Lowe with an E, who'll be credited with a sack on that play. Again, both those young men under the age of 19.
Looking very promising for the Rhinos' future if this trend keeps up.
And just confirming my numbers, it's the man who almost had the pick earlier, who is now wearing 37, who was formerly wearing 27. It's Juraj Smolarski, if my calculations are correct.
Both teams just getting organised for a punt. First one of the evening, I
believe. Yep.
First or second?
Oh no, second punt. And this is recovered by Shanks, who is a brave man to have recovered that, given the traffic that was in his face, and eventually it would be wrestled to the ground by Jamal Sinapati.
Obviously very confident in his ability to catch the ball there. The advantage being that even if he didn't get any yards further downfield, he stopped the ball bouncing deep into his own territory and gives his team quite good field position.
Affirmative. Midway.
If the Rhinos can march down from here, then this might be good night, nurse.
Not too long to go, but surely close to the midway point of the fourth quarter, as Jeremiah Gates is determined to try and seal this game. It's an impressive effort, but probably only got him about 2 yards at most.
Yeah, broke out the juke for the first time there. First time I've seen him run it tonight. They did that double pull again and got him a decent hole.
And we've got a Rhino down. You can see it there.
It appears to be Jervia. Looks like he got banged up blocking on that play.
Kyle Jervia, the London Blitz and Hertfordshire Hurricanes. There we go. Oh, it could be actually Hertfordshire.
Could be West, could be Worcestershire. It's always hard to pronounce.
Shout out to both his Baffa and Uni teams there. You look at the two of them between Phil and Gervier, and just a quick update on the NRL for anyone who's willing to watch our coverage over the preliminary finals of the NRL. The Roosters were leading 8-0 over the Melbourne Storm, but back to the two British wide receiver imports there. Gervier is definitely more of the energy guy between the two of them. Phil Newport a little more reserved and classic English banter.
Yes.
Interactions I've had with him.
Looks like he's sitting up now, so I don't think it was a head or anything. I think I did see him clutching in his arm just before he went down, so maybe got a stinger there on the arm. Hopefully nothing too serious, especially being a receiver.
It's literally the left arm there. If something happens, maybe it was a slight hyperextension or not, but
Yeah, it might be.
walking off the field now.
Looks like that was a little RPO. Looks like he was coming back to see if he got the quick strike.
A bit inconspicuous, that injury. Didn't look all too detrimental, but second
Interesting
down.
formation.
Yeah, we've got Cheyenne James effectively at tight end.
Sort of a wing back or old-fashioned H-back.
And now the Stingrays are being forced to replace one of their DBs, and it's
See whether the Rhinos take advantage of that.
Paladin. Well, they've just replaced him. They've put Jaden Paladin on the field now. Find out in the during halftime that's no longer a charge team timeout. Shot out of a cannon was Jeremiah Gates. 12 yards and a first down.
Yeah, good hole and excellent acceleration there. Stingrays did well to get a shot on his legs to bring him down.
And for a big man, he gets from 0 to 60 real quick, doesn't he?
Very impressive. And like I said, he seems to enjoy contact. Doesn't mind hitting a guy on the line.
Cheyenne James is in motion there, now patiently watching his blocks. Oh, look at the footwork. Look at the footwork. And Gates now has another first down, but there is a flag back down around the 40. Oh, we're close to halfway. Looking like another running back out of New York
Yeah.
with that running style.
Holding on the Rhinos. So we'll get a 1st and 20. So the Rhinos have to work extra hard to convert this first down, but on the plus side for them, they are burning clock as we speak.
I was just about to say. Now Newport and Shanks, they switch sides, are out to the left. Cheyenne James stays in effectively as a tight end. And I think Price is also on the right side of the field now.
I think that might be Colashaw, actually.
Oh, you're right. Number 90, Colashaw. Double tight formation. Now another motion. They haven't used a whole lot of that tonight. It's only been these latter stages. Gwynner will throw, though. Downfield to an open Newport. Newport hasn't caught a lot today. But boy, hasn't he made it count.
Excellent work from Jeremiah. Here picking up the blitzer, giving Gwynner time to get that throw, and yeah, Newport just beating the free safety there.
McAlpine, he's been tested vertically a lot tonight.
Might have been looking to see where CJ was.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. The Rhinos formerly using a lot of motion tonight have used very little of it until now. Again, staying in the same formation, except now Gates moves out to the right of Gwynner. Now it'll be they've used this play before. It'll be the keeper to Gwynner. Gwynner looking for his 6th touchdown on the ground this season, and he gets it. Ladies and gentlemen, that might be good night.
And that image that says it all there, Gwynner running over the top of Damon Malloy to score the touchdown.
Not easy to do.
No, he's quite a good tackler, but Gwinner, a big body with momentum in front of him and blockers.
I think both quarterbacks might be walking out of that a bit worse for wear. Gwinner's now grabbing his right hand, his throwing hand, and Malloy had to be helped to his feet as well. So
Yeah, Malloy lost a helmet again. You might need to check his chin strap. I know players like to have them a bit looser than
Coach
when
Hill.
I was first playing.
Yeah.
Gwinner, definitely holding that hand. Whether he copped a knock.
And I don't think that's the first time that hand's given him trouble. I think against the Ravens, he copped
Yeah,
a bit of a
he-
knock too. In any case, straight to the PAT formation. No,
Might just be, hopefully it's just a bit of cold spray and back out there. Although this will lead, they might put their backup in.
and Newport is up and good. Perfect tonight with the boot. Speaking about Newport, we talked about Jaden Paladin and how many clutch plays he's made for the Stingrays, and it seems like they're the only plays he makes. How about Newport tonight? Has a huge catch there, and that's probably the first time he's really contributed offensively. Made another catch earlier in the first half, but how about the 2 tackles on the kick returns that
Yeah.
could have been sprung for a lot more?
Yeah, there's, like I said, brought down by the kicker before. That's usually an insult in NFL and college, but not in our sport. The kickers tend to be dual purpose.
Indeed, they
And
do.
so, obviously, even though he's a mainly offensive player, knows how to tackle and pulled off some textbook ones earlier.
Well, they would need nothing short of a miracle now. The Stingrays, heading towards the latter minutes of the fourth quarter, have a 20-point spread to cover.
Yeah, it's starting to look like Hail Mary territory. Let's see if the Newport can pin them deep again.
And Newport with one of the... Oh, he's going to keep this one in bounds. And this will bounce nicely into the hands of Hassan. Hassan, they need a big play from him. He's threatened a couple times tonight, and it won't be on this particular occasion. A flag thrown at the 30.
Just try and see what that was for. It's always hard to tell.
Yep.
Yeah, might have been face mask or holding.
Malloy. No, we thought he might have been a little shaken up. He's back on the field.
No, he's tougher than that.
Takes a lot to keep Malloy off. Rhino is about to be pinged with a face mask, so it'll be an extra 15 yards for the Stingrays. And you might be able to hear that on our Atmos mics there, but Coach Booker telling his troops it is not over. Stay locked in.
Yeah, a quick strike here, and the Stingrays are well within striking distance.
Malloy rolling out to his right. They've used this a couple times, and Hassan can't beat the coverage there of Smolarski.
Yeah, excellent closing speed there from the DB. He looked like he was beaten. It would look like it was a decent throw, but yeah, just managed to get in front at the last minute and bat it away.
And so you might hear defensive back coaches talking about playing the hands. There's a great example of it there. 27-7. Stingrays behind on the scoreboard here in the fourth. Led in the first. Second down and 10. Malloy, good protection. Looking over the middle. Can't find anyone but Rhinos. Ernest Moore, he's earned this interception. Now he wants to take it back for 6. He's got a blocker in front of him. Cuts back. Ernest Moore will absolutely put this game to bed. This one's closed and finished. Ernest Moore with a 50-yard pick 6.
Well, the Stingrays had to put all their eggs in one basket and put it on Malloy to take him with the pass, and yep, the Rhinos were ready to drop their linebackers back in coverage, and Ernest Moore, I think he fought off at least one Stingray and probably a couple of other Rhinos to get that ball.
He was trying to work the drag underneath. Was Malloy and Napier, and just sitting and waiting for it was Ernest Moore, and shows the the vision there to cut back behind his blockers and gets a well-earned 6-point play there. He's had a couple taking him off the season, I'm led to believe.
Yes. After the last debacle with their swinging gate play, they've gone straight to conventional.
And Newport stays perfect with the boot. 34-7. The floodgates are open here in the fourth quarter. And hasn't this changed real quick? The start of the middle of the third, the Stingrays were putting together a huge drive that was buoyed, admittedly, by a couple of sketchy calls, a couple of big fortunate plays for the Stingrays.
Yeah, it looked like they were riding it up to the next, but the Rhinos have just managed to bend, not break, and have now run away with it.
There's the man who scored the touchdown.
And I think that's a bit of a message to the league. We saw in one of their previous games against the Ravens, they looked down, they looked like they weren't really in the game in the first half, but it sends a message to the rest of the league that you want to beat the Rhinos, you're going to have to put up a lot of points early because they're going to come for you.
Well, if you're going to be everyone talks about a slow start, but it certainly doesn't hurt to be a team that grows as the game goes on.
You know, I think they're focused very much on wearing opponents down, and that testified by how well they do in the second half.
And another good kick here from Newport, and he'll send it to the back of the end zone. And a story I wanted to pick up where I left off in the first half is about safety Gary Brooks, who is another one of the 6 imports on this team, who will unfortunately be calling this game his goodbye game as he sits on the sideline there. Picked up an injury early in the season, and for precautionary reasons, thought he would pack it in for this season for the sake of prolonging his career, and he's actually going to be heading back to the States to work on his recovery. But I had a good chat to him, and he said this is just one of those setbacks I've got to learn from. It's not the first time I've dealt with an injury, but it's something he wants to use to fuel him moving forward. A fun fact he actually shared with me that no one actually had told before: he's first cousins with Hall of Famer Derek Brooks.
Oh, okay. That's
Tampa Bay Buccaneers famous linebacker, was a huge part of that Tampa 2 defense that was used so much throughout the noughties.
Very dominant in the...
Malloy still not giving up, gets close to the 30, and he said he relied on him. You know, he said as kids they were together much, and obviously as Derek's career took off, they had time apart as you'd expect. And he actually said Derek's actually been giving him words of advice during this about how to bounce back from this, and some pretty sound stuff. He said, make sure you stay around football during this period because you don't want to lose that hunger.
Yeah, that's excellent, and very, very lucky to have someone with experience that he can talk to and contact, and yeah, it bodes well for his future.
As I see, Stingrays continue to pound the ball in an attempt to try and make something of this fourth quarter, but yeah, no, it was a real fascinating listening to him. He said Derek Brooks is a self-made man. He said his parents probably weren't the most supportive as one would like as someone pursuing a career, but he said he did it all himself. He said he had no reason to, but Derek pushed himself to get all A's when he was in high school with not the best background at home, and he said that Derek Brooks is his cousin Derek is a huge inspiration to him now. He wants to live his life growing up. And Malloy still making people miss. Look at him go. There's shades of the Malloy we know and love, and gets this past the 40.
Yeah, after that intercept touchdown, he was very animated on the sideline, so he's got a bit of fire in the belly still.
Actually, speaking about Malloy, just to finish off that little note on Brooks, Malloy's learnt this lesson, but Brooks said, he's not as young as he used to be. He's at 25 now, turning 25 soon, and he says 25, 26 is that bit where that body starts to actually start aging on you. And he goes, growing up, I probably didn't take care of my body as well as I could have, and I'm starting to learn the importance of that now.
Yeah, that's something that really starting to become prevalent in young athletes, being coached more to look after themselves a little better and not just go for out-and-out performance from the get-go. You see that a lot. Even I was listening the other week to cricketers talking about how they rest their bowlers a lot more than they used to, whereas it used to just be, no, you bowl until you break down. Whereas now they tend to look after themselves a bit more, and that's why some of our top athletes in lots of sports are getting longer and longer careers.
2-minute warning now, just called out of us. 2 minutes left in this Week 7 football game. Second down, Malloy throwing deep. He's got one-on-one coverage with Hataya. Hataya brings it in. Football down to the 24.
Great route there. Managed to get around the DB. DB obviously didn't get the call from the sideline and didn't seem to know early enough that the ball was in the air.
And Rick Walters with the highlight reel interception earlier in this game. Malloy going that direction again, going to test Walters, and Walters almost picks it off. Would have been his second for the day.
Yeah, Malloy going for the lot there.
Great protection.
Throwing it up and trusting his receiver.
Rick Walters, a former wide receiver at the Colts level in years past.
And the Stingrays can afford to gamble with passes like that now. They've got nothing left to lose.
Second down and 10. Element Hassan and Jaden Paludan here are the near side wide receivers. And that's Gardner, I believe, in the backfield. Protection is not good enough there, and Malloy cops a shot while throwing the ball, and that'll be 3rd and 10 with a minute or so left on the clock.
Yeah, Rhinos still getting decent pressure.
Good double team in the middle there on Akeem Allen.
Not setting up shop and running prevent or anything like that. Winner appears to have his helmet off on the side and his wraps and everything off his hands on the sidelines. So that might be him done for the night.
If they come back, then it might be quarterback Bradford taking some snaps. He's got his helmet on, ready to go in case. Malloy on 3rd down, throws downfield, gets a good catch there.
Excellent catch.
Flags are back down at the line of scrimmage though, and that is Hataya getting underneath that ball. And that is on the Stingrays. Wipe that catch off the stat sheet.
And that puts them even more in a hole than previously. Well, it'll be 3rd and 20.
Third and long following that penalty here in the last remaining seconds of Week 7 here in the men's division. Malloy has got 2 outs if he wants it, but he's going for Paludan in double coverage. And incomplete. Jaden trying to climb the staircase. Late flags here again from this near side sideline.
That could only be something like taunting.
I'm sure seeing if we can. Well, I couldn't see anything there unless they're going to call some
Everything
sort
else
of PI.
looked clean as whistle as far as I could see.
A couple of former players watching it. Shout out to everyone joining us here in Week 7, whether you've joined us for the game down at Wynnum earlier in the Griffith Uni Thunder and the Bayside Ravens, or whether you've joined us tonight here out of Franklin Oval. So the Rhinos soon to be walking home victorious. The score 34 points to 7. Questionable. As I respond to someone on the sideline.
Looks like this one's going to be waved off. Yep.
And this flag will be irrelevant. We'll wave it off.
So we will never know what the call was.
I wish I could wave off some stuff I'd rather, not have people know.
Some life decisions or just flags? just flags.
Yeah, just my life decisions. I wish I could wave them off. 4th down. No surprises here. The Stingrays are going to reload and see if they can convert. Plenty of vertical patterns here. Passes over the middle and caught from Element Hassan, or is it?
I thought there was a little bubble there at the end, but obviously not.
No, this will be caught and it'll be 1st down at Stingrays. Malloy is down though.
He took the big hit.
And we'll see here on a replay. And you saw there was a great
There was
catch.
a bobble, but it never hit the ground.
Never hit the ground. A fantastic catch there. We've seen a
Excellent
couple of
work, yeah.
acrobatic efforts here from both sides this evening.
It was Hassan there, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, Element Hassan.
Yep.
Stingrays, knowing they've only got a couple plays left, will mosey on down to the ball being marked around the 12, I believe. Or no,
Looks like they've taken a timeout. Don't know how many that is for the Stingrays this half.
you should ask Malloy, methinks. I'll give you an
Seems
answer.
to be on top of it.
First and goal.
Oh, and answering timeouts from the Rhinos.
Just means a little more time for me and you to go back memory lane here. These two teams are last played in 2018 semi-final up at the sunny coast there, where it was a resounding victory to the Brisbane Rhinos,
Oh, we're getting some chatter back from our cameraman.
40-28. But I have to admit, it wasn't until the fourth quarter till things definitely flowed the Rhinos' way. It was a early start from the Rhinos, 14 points early before they entered back with a Napier touchdown from, again, who was starting quarterback that day, and Damien Malloy.
Yeah, that was something the Rhinos as a team have definitely needed for a long time, was a win over the Stingrays in a final. Have played them many times in the final, and I don't think ever gotten over them in the men's. I don't think we need that shot.
And as you can see here, what we've been working with in our booth, a lovely booth provided here by the folks on at Frank Lind Oval, and of course the Brisbane Rhinos. We've had a wonderful view here, and I must admit, Frank Lind Oval is one of my favourite places in suburbia to call football. We're right by the screen. You can see how close we are to the field whilst getting elevation. It's a fantastic place to call not only rugby league but American football.
It is a beautiful little balcony up here. It's so much easier to call when you can actually see what you're doing.
Malloy trying to add to their 7 points from the first half. Quick throw, and almost brought in by Rigo Ataya. Was off his left arm.
Yeah, that one's on the receiver there, unfortunately. Damon Malloy put it right on the spot for him. Good route, good play call, but just couldn't bring it in.
I go back to what you were talking about the Rhinos needing a win in the Stingrays in the playoffs. I mean, I think that's the reputation of the Stingrays right there. Everyone can remember their first win against the Stingrays. Everyone can remember the first time, if they ever have, in the playoffs, because that's how difficult it has been to do over the past 15 years. This is tipped and almost caught on the tip, but falls incomplete. And that'll bring up a fourth down, and this very well might be the last play here for the Stingrays this evening.
Yeah, the Stingrays for decades have been the team to beat, the standard for the league, and the Rhinos have always been there and thereabouts. It just couldn't get past that. The Stingrays have turned into a bit of a hoodoo for them.
So for everyone, to be fair.
Yeah. So getting that win against them was good. I think it might have unfortunately distracted them for the next game in the final a little bit.
Uses up a little bit of that emotional energy when you get a monkey off your back. And here goes Malloy, desperate to try and make something happen, looking a bit like Tim Tebow there, and I thought that was fourth down, sorry, that is fourth down now. Malloy with one more opportunity here, trying to add to their 7 points.
Yeah, showing his athleticism there, still managed to roll back out to the right and then throw back across his body. Just couldn't find his receiver. Obviously a lot of Rhinos in the vicinity.
They did get Paddington open with some slants in the first half. Let's see if they go back to that now. He's currently matched up against Henrik Walters, and now we have a timeout to the Rhinos. And I think that is just an example of the Rhinos' competitiveness here. They do not want to.
No, they
don't want to allow any more points here in this game.
No, I imagine they would have been disappointed with giving up so many to the Ravens when they were here. And they gave up a couple to the Thunder as well, but yeah, they'll be eyeing off that for and against and making sure they dominate teams for the whole season. Obviously, coach probably also wanted to make sure that everyone stays calm. There's probably going to be the last, if not one of the last, if not the last players, and make sure everyone keeps their head on their shoulders, doesn't do anything silly, doesn't fall into any traps.
And you can just see their backup quarterback, Mitch Bradford, taking snaps from Ryan Glass in the centre. And you can see what play he's practicing. He's practicing the kneel down. just in case he's called upon.
You'd be surprised how many people don't know how to do it and then get out there the first time they have to kneel down. And
Paladin in motion. They'll go quarterback keeper to Malloy, and Malloy will bowl over a defender on their final offensive play here in week 7. Just a sign of, or something to build on for the weeks to come. And that's something we've seen him do many times.
yeah, just looking to end with an exclamation mark and get a bit more pride back in their performance.
And I think it's Henrik Walters who cops the end of a shoulder here. It's not the first time he's done that, but to Malloy's credit, immediately comes back and is down, checking on his would-be tackler. So 34-13 with the PAT to come from the Stingrays.
I think that was actually Jordan Appy.
Or Jordan.
Oh, sorry, no, I'm reading the wrong sheet there. Sorry,
Say
my
he's
bad.
running over his own
no,
teammate, is he?
because Henrik's up and walking around. That might be Jervius again.
He's actually, yeah, you're right. Henrik Walters is actually the near side on Paladin. So Jervier's had a physical night, to say the
Yes,
least.
he's been in the wars a little bit. Hopefully he's all right. They're checking his neck. But he seems to be up and moving around.
They're getting Newport. He thought he was getting on the field, gets called back to get some instructions. Just saw the replay just one more time there. And
Maybe just making sure he's awake in case there is time for a kickoff.
And it looks like he is being, you're right, it is Jervier being walked off the field now to the applause of both teams. And with week 7 soon to coming to a close, we look forward to next week, where the streams will either be at Logan or back here at the Rhinos, soon to be decided. And it looks like I'm getting a call that we'll be back here for round 8, where it'll be the at the very least the Ravens taking on the Vultures, and possibly the Thunder and Rhinos Colts fighting off in the Colts division. And here comes Terzok. Successful PAT tonight, a couple of punts, as well as a successful field goal they took off the board. And this is up, and this is good.
Yeah, good work there. Bobbled snap. Managed to get it down and get over the post before it got blocked. It's always got to be a nightmare as a kicker watching the ball go bobbling through the holder's hands.
Just getting the kind of confirmation on the score there. 34 points to 14 once again. 20-point difference between these two teams. And this game was 7-7 at halftime. A very quick score in the third quarter to the Rhinos. Brought them the lead and they never looked back.
It's a cliche, but tale of two halves. Very much an arm wrestle up until midway through the third quarter before the Rhinos managed to break away. And have not looked back since. They've put together some very impressive drives.
Terzok back to kick us off for the final few plays here this evening here at Franklin Oval. Terzok, the lefty, boots this back, and we're back out of the end zone for a touchback. And here we are for the formality plays. This week's 7 matchup. Phil, overall thoughts? You kind of summed it up already, but tale of two halves, and the second half very much belonged to the Brisbane Rhinos.
Yeah, I think they did some impressive work in the sheds at half time, making adjustments. They haven't really looked too troubled ever since half time. I think they're very good at, well coached obviously, and very good at picking up on what they need to do to turn a game around.
With no more need to play any more plays, Bradford takes the knee. Or soon.
I think Gwenna's out there actually.
No, good up.
Yep. Well, they just had it at the wrong spot. Everyone got a little too excited and just went to wherever the ball was.
I thought for a second they were going to give Bradford the final snaps, but it is Gwenna, restrapped and re-equipped to take the necessary final plays for tonight.
That's also a good sign that, yep, he's not worried about hitting that hand on anything. It probably was just a stinger.
And there it is, the lollipop's being folded up on ball all but being raised. We might have missed it behind some players, but that marks full time here. Closing out week 7 where the Rhinos remain undefeated, giving the Stingrays their first loss of 2019. 27 points to 7 in the second half got them their victory here to remain undefeated throughout 7 weeks of football.
Yeah, an impressive performance once again from the Rhinos. No knocks on the Stingrays. They played their hearts out and put up some very good plays and will ride it up into it. If a few other things had gone their way, they might have managed to come away with a W, or even just to get a bit closer and put a bit more of a scare through.
We talked about,
Rhinos.
yeah, it was 14-7 for much of the third quarter. The Stingrays had a very long drive late in the third that actually extended to the first play of the fourth quarter there, and had they finished that drive off and tied it up 14-14, we could be talking about a very different ball game in the fourth quarter. Nevertheless, the Rhinos showed their class, scored 20 unanswered points through much of the second half, and that got them the victory here tonight.
Yeah, it's a good sign for their resilience going forward, that they can deal with some pressure and some setbacks in a game and still come out, keep their heads, and hold and manage to come away with the win.
Well, that is the tale of the tape. The Rhinos stay undefeated at home, 34 points to 14. Thank you for joining us through either of our productions here this evening, whether you tuned in to the earlier game or tuned in and watched out this game with us here this evening from 6:30. We look forward to your company in future weeks. I'm Kenny Andres. You join Phil Levis. We'll see you next week.